Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Talk Hammers show. You're here again with myself and Gary. I hope you're all well. Gary, you all right? You've had a bit of a long journey, haven't you?
Yeah,
This weekend?
I've had a pretty bleak weekend. Actually, grim. I think I had to drive up to Scotland and back, so I went to a drive up to Perth to drop someone off with a load
Was
of
it was it
gear.
grim? Was it grim because you went to Scotland?
No. Scotland's nice because we stayed in a really nice hotel in Edinburgh last night just to spoil ourselves a bit.
Yeah,
And it's called the Black Ivy. If you get a chance to stay there, it's worth staying. It's really funky. It's nice. Yeah. And so it's like one of these arty hotels, right? Music,
yeah.
pictures, and all sorts of art all around the place. But it was
I, lo-
good.
I love I love a bit of art.
Yeah, I know you do. You're quite
Yeah.
cultured, really, aren't you? Yeah. Pictures of meat all around the wall. Yeah, I think it was good for Edinburgh, and we looked. I'd never been to Edinburgh before, so we looked around the castle at night and things like that. It was brilliant, really, really good.
Yeah.
And then drove home again today. And honestly, I only got home a couple of hours ago, and 7 hours in the cut. 8 hours there, 7 hours back.
Yeah.
And my God, it was a long day. It was a long day. So I'm dead on my feet, but the soldier that I am, I'm here. I'm here to talk about West Ham.
Good. Right. Well, look. Before we get started, okay. Going to start this on a bit of a somber note. Okay. So this lad, this has been all over Twitter, and there's a few people that we know that know Oscar as well. As you can see, he's a 13-year-old boy who plays for West Ham's youth academy, and he's been diagnosed with a 7-centimetre cancerous brain tumour after the right-hand side of his body shut down, and he heard horrible voices in his head. Oscar Ray Fairs has been at the club's academy since he was 6 years old, and one day he wants to be a professional goalkeeper. Described by his friends and his family, including Mark Noble, as invincible and heroic, Oscar underwent surgery to remove 99% of the tumour on August the 31st after losing the ability to walk and talk. Now, they're doing a GoFundMe for Oscar, and it's in the link of the description. That's an absolutely horrific story. So, yeah, very, very good cause. So it is a very, very somber note to start on, but I've seen that sort of flying about. So it'd be remiss of me, if you got a few quid, send it their way rather than ours at the moment, because it's going to a good cause. All right.
Yeah, definitely. What a horrible situation. You think you got the world at your feet, and then suddenly that happens. And
no, it's horrible.
Yeah. So help if you can, please.
Yeah, and best of luck, Oscar, and your family as well. I hope you hope it all turns out all right, and I'm sure it will. Yeah. Right. So obviously, look, we're gonna touch on tonight. Moving on swiftly. We're gonna touch on the Man City game as well. Obviously, Gary wasn't there. I was, but he's since seen the highlights and stuff like that. And I think you've watched most of the game there, Gary, haven't you?
So, and I listened to the commentary live as well, so it was almost like being there, but not quite.
Yeah. So we're going to touch on that. Do the player ratings as well. That'd be fun. And then we're going to talk about very quickly the European game on Thursday. Looking ahead to Liverpool on Saturday, and that's about it. And then we'll open the phone lines for you, lovely lot, so you can phone in. But first of all, Gary, obviously you've seen the game. You've seen the game now against City. What were your thoughts on the way that we first of all, the way that we approached it? So looking at the lineup, was you surprised, or was it exactly what you expected?
No, it's exactly what we expected. We all expected, you as well, expected Souček to go straight back in. We thought it was going to be two banks of four, and it was. I think, with Paqueta squeezed out onto the left-hand side, which is just not ideal, took away any option of attacking flair that we had apart from with Paqueta, and he did kind of do a few good things, like that great ball through to Antonio, it wasn't a surprise at all. It was a little bit disappointing because I've said it and I keep saying it as well, is that for me, Souček doesn't have a place in that first team anymore, because we've now got Alvarez, a superior player, and you've got to have some attacking threat to play a counter-attacking game with some pace. We do have options, but we don't play them.
No. I mean, squeezing our best player out on the left-hand side, even though Paqueta was still our best outfield player, he was kind of instrumental to anything that we did yesterday. He was. A lot of there were good patterns of play yesterday. There were moments in that game where we looked decent. where we showed that we could be more than what we were setting up to be. Do you know what I mean? There was periods of the game where there was about 5 minutes where it was around about the half-hour mark where we had the ball more than City. You know, they couldn't get it off of us. We was passing and moving really, really well. And it was beyond that. It was just after that Soufal got because he was pushed further up the pitch, that he found the space and we got the ball in, scored the goal. But we quickly regressed after half time, and they quickly punished us for it. But all I'm trying to say is I think the review, a lot of people took my review the wrong way. I weren't criticising I did criticise individual performances. I did with Souček, with Soufal, with Aguero, with him switching off.
Yeah,
but I weren't criticising the commitment of the players. The commitment of the players was good to watch. They're clearly trying to make this work. They are. I'm going to have to get the dogs out in a minute. Give me 2 minutes because they're fucking around. 1 minute. Hang on.
Yeah, okay. I think they are trying to make it work. The players are giving it their all, so you can't kind of blame. You can't pick out individuals, even though they're, you know. I think last week's show, we had this question about, you know, if you had any budget, who would you replace? And I don't know if you remember, but I was in an hour and I started out with a right back about Soufal because to me he's a backup player, no more. I love him, but he's a backup player. And Aguero, again, it's nothing personal with Aguero. It's just he doesn't fit this system, right? And he's got an error in him all the time, and it seems like whenever he makes an error, he costs us a goal, right?
Especially when you play this way, because if you've got somebody who suffers with lapses in concentration, you're playing in a way where you're under pressure the whole time. I mean, to put it in perspective, right? The game was in the ball was in play for 65 minutes yesterday. We conceded 30 chances. That's a chance every fucking 2 minutes. There's literally one-way traffic. All right. Now we did sort of spring and go down the other end, and kind of make something happen. But look, at the end of the day, I weren't expecting a win. I thought the commitment from the players was good, but I just feel like we were kind of set up ridiculously. Now, and that doesn't mean that I'm expecting us to go out and go toe to toe with Man City. I don't mean that. But if you look back to last season,
a lot of people thought we did.
Yeah, no, I know. But if you look at, for instance, Brentford, who beat City twice last year, they did that through being defensively resolute. But the difference with them is they kept two fast players up the top of the pitch the whole fucking game, so that they had the ability to break quickly. And when they did, they could hurt the opposition. That was how they managed to get 2 results. Now it might work sometimes, it might not, but you've got to give yourself a chance. And the fact is, I think we have got the players to do that as well. You know, you had Kudus come off the bench. We've got so many good players, but like I said, we don't play a fast counter-attacking game. I pointed it out yesterday that in the first half, Paqueta, when Areola gathered the ball, Paqueta was in space out on the left and he was screaming for the ball. Areola's, because his instinct is to distribute, is to go. But you could see he visibly stopped himself and started bouncing the ball. He started bouncing the ball, waiting for everyone to go up, because the game plan is wait for Souček to get up the field, aim for him, wait for him to flick it on. By that time, City have regained their fucking shape.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And what you say about Brentford is absolutely true, right? Because you've got to have an attacking threat. You've got to have an outlet when you play counter-attack. You can't just be, because the way we play it seems to be is like typically you play out to Antonio, plays it back, and then they try to look for Antonio as he goes off. And that's what happened with a Paqueta one, for instance, right? So you're always playing deep and you're being pushed back. I think Brentford, what they're doing by adopting their approach is giving Man City or whoever they play something to worry about constantly.
Yeah, so they can't all bomb on then. They can't, and not everyone can bomb on.
So if you keep Antonio quiet, and when he's up against 2 world-class centre halves, which Man City, even their reserves are, then he's going to have his work cut out. And yes, I know he had that chance, and he really put the hammer down there and tried to make that happen. It wasn't that bad. People are saying he's got lead in his boots. I mean, fucking hell, he was racing against someone. And he got onto the ball. It was a heavy touch. The keeper was off his line brilliantly. So I've got to give credit to the keeper there. I think Antonio was more focused on the race with the bloke he was racing against, right? Because he was fast as well.
Look, what people forget is that Antonio had to have a heavy first touch to get away from the defender. He had to knock the ball in front of him to get away from him so he could run onto it. And Edison was out like a flash. He really was. He was kind of on him. And yeah, look, fair enough. Maybe he could have shot on sight. He could have done this, but that was one chance, right? And look, Antonio has been battered. He didn't really get given any chances yesterday. Whereas I'm not being funny. If you've seen the raft of chances that Haaland missed in that game, he missed a fucking open goal.
Yeah.
I tell you what, if Antonio missed some of them chances, I hate to think what people would have said. But we're having a go at a guy who's a striker, and we're having a go at him because what someone said on Twitter the other day. Today. Sorry, I said the same thing on Twitter, and someone went, "Yeah, well, Haaland can afford to miss chances because he gets loads of opportunities, but Antonio can't because we don't make chances." Well, okay, then. Well, don't have a go at Antonio. It's the system. We don't create enough chances, and we could do. And the thing is, teams like Man City, most teams that go back at them, fair enough, they're going to be better than you. They'll beat you. But you know what? If you go at them, you will get chances because they're an attacking team.
Yeah, of course you will. Of course you will.
And get chances to score.
Yeah, and a couple of things, right, that I found a little bit of a difficult pill to swallow because, like I said, I was listening to the commentary early on in the first half. You know, the commentators are saying, how the bloody hell Man City have not scored, I don't know. I mean, they've had a couple of great chances. And when I watched the replay, I mean, he literally missed 2 open goals, one in the first half, one in the second.
I know.
Didn't he? And that's unlike him. And yeah, it was like defending off the line. Our best player was our goalkeeper again, and that's never a good sign.
That's three games out of 5. Areola has been the man of the match.
He's done brilliantly, but we're exposing him, and we're inviting other teams on to have a little shot, a little dig at our keeper. And so when people say, and they did say this, that we went toe to toe with Man City. Well, we're on the same pitch. If that counts, we went toe to toe, literally with them. Yeah. But you know, when it came to the second half, I think you saw what happened. I mean, they literally started playing the ball at a high tempo in the last third of the pitch, and we were chasing shadows. We were all around the place, and Soufal's side was wide open. And when Alvarez went off, the middle was open as well, and that's what led, I think, to that second goal where Agüero, that's amateurish. That's Sunday League what he's done there. Other people were saying like, oh, it was a combination of people making mistakes. Well, yeah, JWP, Ward-Prowse has been pulled back to try to play a position that Alvarez was playing, but I don't blame him. He's not going to do that. But that ball over the top, bloody hell, how did he do that? It was harder to do what he did than to head the ball away, you know. He had plenty of time. It didn't catch him out. It's just he jumped too early. He jumped too early.
He confused Areola because Areola has seen him jumping in front of it. He's thinking, oh, he's got that. And all of a sudden, he's hesitant. I mean, you can't levy any... Areola set a Premier League record this season for saves in the match. So you can't have a go at Areola for that.
Of course you can't.
But look, it was kind of... It went wrong badly when David Moyes made his predetermined changes. Now, when I say predetermined, because his in-game management isn't dynamic. David Moyes has it. He knows what substitutions he's going to make before the fucking game even kicks off. Yeah, he knows what minute they're going to come on. So he knew what he was going to do. He had Benny, right? Bear in mind, he's got Benny and Cornet. They wandered up on around about 58 minutes. They were stood there for 7 minutes until the 65th minute when they were sent on. They were just stood there, cold. And then they were sent on. You know, that's the thing. So you're letting them just fucking stand there for a start. They should be warming up. But then he's pulling off Souček. He's pulling off Antonio, who was that was a first mistake because he was our only real attacking outlet. You know, he was causing them a problem when we could do something. And it took him off. But then obviously Souček was coming off. Then Alvarez went down with cramp. And it changed. All he done was he just switched Alvarez with Souček. But that isn't thinking because Souček can't replace Alvarez. No. So he didn't change anything about his game plan that he'd predetermined. He just put Souček in Alvarez's position. And it was at that point, Gary, when you saw, for instance, the other Alvarez who'd done a little scope over. From that point on, we looked like we were wide open in the middle because Alvarez was gone and Souček was non-existent.
Yeah, I know, and look, and so again, going back to that, we went toe to toe with the European champions. No, I don't think we did. I mean, we're on the same pitch as them, but we don't think we did. And I watched another channel on a post-match review, and there was a comment there saying, "I'm deeply annoyed. I'm deeply annoyed because I genuinely thought we'd get something out of this game." And I thought, did you really? I mean, you know, it's that is not what I thought at all. I never thought we'd get anything out of this game. They're good. They're very good. and
Yeah.
we are not. We're not yet that team, and I don't know if we will become that team that can play this brand of football and soak it up against a great side for 100 minutes without making an error. And we made 2 or 3 errors yesterday. I mean, how Sue Fowler's let that guy just run inside him and have a shot? I don't know. By the way, this comment I'm going to put up, but I'm going to get around to your comments, by the way, guys. I'm trying. This comment I'm going to put up, Trudge follows this with a smiley face, right? So don't react. But look, if the players did their job, it would have been a Moyes masterclass. Now, but sadly, Trudge, a lot of people do actually think that. They do actually think that we were unlucky. And no matter how you dice and slice it, we weren't unlucky. It's just they started playing in the second half. I mean, we went in 1-0 up, but that was a bonus, and we were buzzing, right? I was even buzzing in the car driving up to Scotland, right? But must have been brilliant. But second half, their class really shone. It really shone. I think Hawaiian says here that Doku had Sufal on toast. Yeah, I mean,
nice to meet you, Hawaiian Hammer, as well. Lovely guys.
Oh,
you met. Yeah. And the other chap that's sitting, I can't think of his name. The chap who sits next to Mason. Steve, really nice guy.
Yeah. So I think, look, Doku, he's a great player. He's a great player, but bloody hell, Sufal made him look good, didn't he, as well? And I think this one here about Paimash Liga, good name, by the way. Should say 2 Paimash Liga, right? Paqueta out wide, 3 Paimash Liga. Paqueta out wide to put Souček in the team is a disgrace. Most clueless. His obvious pace was needed to play the negative defensive role. Yeah, look, I don't think personally it is a. Can I just recite something that I heard, right? And that is, I listened on the way down to every podcast I haven't listened to, right? And I listened to one that Stop Hammer Time ones from this week, right? And they had Tony Gale on there. And Tony Gale, I love listening to him. I've met him a few times in recent months, and he's a lovely guy. And they got on to talking about this. Yeah, they were talking about his book and Harry and everything else, right? But then they started talking about, okay, you've worked for all these great managers. Who's your favourite? And he said, well, I loved the year for Dalglish, but it has to be John Lyall, right? And what he said was, and this, I mean, look, listen to what somebody who played for what I consider a sort of golden era of West Ham, right? They said to him, this was Jim Grant, who asked him a really good question. He said, Tony, before you went out on the pitch playing for John Lyall, what kind of instructions did you get? What did he tell you to do? How did he tell you to play? And he said, to be honest, Jim, he said, we never really worried about the opposition. Don't matter who we played against. He said, he's all we spoke about was how we're going to hurt the opposition. And that is the West Ham that I know. And that is the antithesis of what David Moyes is doing, because it's all about what it's about. It's
about stopping the opposition. That's all it is.
Yeah. But and you know who else was that? There's something I didn't know, that when John Lyall was sacked by West Ham, Alec Ferguson went to John Lyall's wake, right, and he spoke about him. I didn't know this, but when he went up, he moved on to Ipswich and got them promoted, John Lyall, right? And Alec Ferguson said at his the dude that they had, he stood up on stage and did a speech because he loved John Lyall. He said, do you know, when he was sacked by West Ham, I asked him to come to Man United and be my director of football.
Oh, bloody hell. There you go.
Yeah, that's how high a regard he held him in, right? And he refused. He said, no, I'm not moving my wife up to Manchester. Yeah. I'm going to take over Ipswich. So he was, decent bloke to the last, and a great, the kind of footballing brain I respect. You know who else used to not worry about the opposition and just used to focus on how you can hurt them? Brian Clough.
Yeah, but I think the majority of managers, progressive managers, that is what you do. You focus all week on how you can attack and take the opposition down. Whereas, and don't get me wrong, I think because the way you kind of people can the way you could sort of deduce what you're saying is that David Moyes is the opposite of that, because he designs bespoke tactics to stop the opposition. He doesn't design bespoke tactics; it's a stock tactic. He's designed a block, which is a one-size-fits-all. And like I say, everything's predetermined. Even there's no dynamism in the game. Everything is predetermined. Doesn't matter what's happening in the game. On the 65th minute, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, blah, 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 blah. You know, Alvarez got cramp. It sort of threw the cat amongst the pigeons. But no, that's exactly what it should be. You should be setting up. And maybe that's what Rice was alluding to when he'd been there for 2 weeks, because he'd been in with Arteta, and all of a sudden, the whole game plan was about what we're doing.
Yeah. And no, exactly right. What JKL says here, the system requires a back four plus keeper to put in a 9 out of 10 performance every week. When you're playing against a good side like Liverpool next week, like Man City this week, that's exactly what you need in order to try and have any hope of getting a point out of the game or 3 points out of the game. That is what's got to happen. Everyone's got to turn up. They've got to be zero mistakes. Now, when you've got a team like City buzzing around you with all their mobile players, what's the odds you're not going to make a mistake in 100 minutes of football?
Yeah, of course. And look, at the end of the day, most fans would accept that it's a bit of a free hit against Man City. So why not fucking go for it? Why not give yourself the best opportunity? We scored a goal playing the way we was playing. I mean, we created we had 6 shots on goal. 3 of those were from set pieces, where we got headers on goal. So we created 3 from open play. One, I think 3 from open play. But we could do more if we were to commit bodies forward more, because City pile forward. And the thing is, right, you can't tell me, people say, oh, you'll get murdered. You'll get murdered if you do that. We should have got murdered in that game yesterday. Like you said, in the first half, they had 2 shots cleared off the line. Haaland missed 2 open goals. They hit the post. Areola made 10 saves. It should have been a fucking cricket score anyway.
Yeah,
when you're sitting deep behind the ball like that.
If they go 2-3-0 up early doors, we don't get that goal. We're out of the game. They come out the second half and score another couple. You know what they're like. They never stop. They're relentless. And we do have options, to remind you, at right back. Mavropanos. I mean, look, at the moment, with Aguerd playing so intermittently well, and with Soufal playing, again, the same sort of way, Mavropanos, Dinos, as we call him, right? He's got to get a game soon, because
he ain't ready, Gary. He's not ready.
No, that's what Moyes said. He said he's not ready. He needs some weeks.
Not ready.
Kudus is not ready. He needs some weeks. I mean, so this game that looks, I mean, we'll talk about it later, but the game on Thursday against the weakest side in the group, surely that's a game where Mavropanos gets a start and Moyes can see him, because look, he said, Mavropanos, I really love listening to his interview when he joined the club, right? Because he said, my job is to defend, is to protect the goal. That is my job. If I can get forward and do something else, fine. But that is what I'm there for. I'm there to protect the goal. And I love hearing a defender talk like that. And he's right on form. He's just played for Greece. He's not like he's fit. He scored 2 goals for Greece as well, didn't he? He could slot in for either Soufal or
he's a man mountain, Gary. He was warming up. He was warming up right by us, right? And like you said, he's also rapid. We've seen that. He can play out on the right. I am sorry. He's a fucking. If you want to set a block in front of Doku, stick him in front of him.
Exactly.
Because he ain't going to be easy to run round.
Well, he ain't going to be retreating all the way into his own fucking penalty box, is he? I mean, look, what Soufal should have done really is he should have taken a yellow card there and taken, because it's early in the second half.
Before he even got into the box. Yeah, and also when Soufal's retreating, he's got players inside him. So Soufal could step out and try and at least disrupt him. And then what you've done is you've disrupted the player, then somebody else can come in. But he didn't. I think Soufal retreating the way that he was, it's like he was waiting for someone else to do something. No, that's your man. You're the fullback. You fucking do something.
Well, it ain't the only time he did it either. And it's not like Soufal was on a card or anything, right? He should have taken a booking there, because what's the worst time to concede, right? Is just before half-time and just after half-time. Worst time to concede, everyone knows it. 60 seconds or 50 seconds into the second half, he lets him run into his own box, fucking retreats away and lets him have a shot. And the keeper's got no chance because Soufal's standing his fucking way.
But he'll get, like I said, it does get worse the more you watch that goal, because it isn't even like Doku did anything amazing. He just ran in a straight line. He didn't even really have to chop inside dramatically. No. It was just kind of allowed to just get onto his right foot, and it was a nothing goal. It was like a free hit.
I agree with you, right? What I would do at the moment with that back four is I would put Oggy in for Aguerd. Yeah. Right? And I would put the fucking, who looks like a right steal if he ever gets a game, Mavropanos out to replace Soufal. Then, next week against Liverpool, if we're going to sit back and do the same thing, maybe we've got a chance of 4 defenders concentrating for 100 minutes.
Yes, absolutely. If we're going to play that way, look, listen, I don't necessarily want us to play this way. So for me, I want Aguerd to be part of the team, because I would like us to push further up the pitch. And then Aguerd's recovery pace is amazing. That's where he excels. But we're not going to do that. So if we're going to play this way, Play the right fucking players. And also, the other thing as well, do you know the other reason why you get such confusion? And the other reason for that is because of the amount of bodies we've got back defending. More bodies means more confusion. You've all got your own little zones. So it's like, oh no, that's my area. That's mine. Nobody knows their fucking job. So at the end of the day, it's mad to think that you can have so many bodies behind the ball, but still concede 29 chances. That's fucking that's madness.
Well, it shows it ain't working, right? It shows it ain't working. And when you and look, you've only got to look back at the other games. The amount of chances that Brighton created. Had we conceded the penalty against Chelsea, they were all over us at that point. That would have gone wrong as well. So look, I'm not playing it down. We've got the points. That's great. We've banked them points, right? And that makes our survival that little bit easier.
Yes.
But be under no illusions, right? We go to Liverpool, lose the same one, then suddenly Sheffield United becomes a tougher game. They're getting better right at home, and I'm telling you,
they're not going to be easy.
I'm telling you now, even against Sheffield United, he will play the same fucking team, right? True West Ham fans, Fred the Hammer says, would rather lose 3-2 than 1-0. Well, look, no, I don't want to lose at all. I'm really precious about that, and I can't be happy when we lose. But if we play well and do what I described earlier about actually going out and trying to win the game and we lose, you go away from the ground feeling a bit better and a bit more hopeful than when you've turned up and set up to invite the other team on, right? That's my attitude.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, a massive shout out. We're going to credit him anyway, but a massive shout out to Lucas Paqueta. I don't give a fuck if he went and hugged Pep before the game. He probably just wanted to see what a top manager looked like up close and personal. But at the end of the day, Lucas Paqueta is a player that is unmoisable. He's unmoisable. He was played out of position, fucking way back. He still affected that game. Have you seen his highlights reel? Have you seen it? It was beautiful. I'm not being funny. And he done that sort of playing. He was playing for the wrong fucking team, and that isn't the personnel. I'm not having a go at the players. We've got good players, but he was just stunning. He's got class even in defence. What he does. He's an absolutely wonderful player, and he was brilliant. And like I say, that passage of play, which was probably the part of the game just before we scored that I enjoyed most, was when we was on the ball, but it was almost like surely there should be a light bulb in David Moyes' head that sees that and goes, "Oh look, fucking City ain't attacked us for 5 minutes because we pushed them back up the pitch."
And did you see what happened, right? Doku didn't think he had to worry about defending. He was fucking stranded up the pitch. He couldn't catch
exactly,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And well done, Keith. Just donated to Oscar's GoFundMe.
Oh, well done.
Yeah. So I think McDiver is clueless against the best manager. Well, what he does against the best managers is he just tries to spoil the game, right? That's all he does. And we all know what's coming. We all know which players he's going to select. We know how he's going to play. All this shit about he wants to get more progressive. Well, no, he don't. I mean, look, there was one time yesterday, I was listening on the radio, I thought it's 1-1. And he's just put Kudus and Ben Rama on. I thought, he's going for it, right? He's going for it.
It's not Eric. Well, I mean, Kudus was so he was like back at right back, Kudus.
Well, he's who he replaced. I mean, he took Antonio off, right? And I thought that was strange. I thought he was going to replace Bowen with Kudus.
He accepted it didn't work straight away because what happened was his idea was to go Benny left, Kudus right, Bowen down the middle. This is his plan B. This is why we didn't go and get another striker. And he even alluded to it, David Moyes. Well, it lasted about 5 minutes or 10 minutes before he brought Ings on, a striker, and put Bowen back out on the fucking right wing again. Because he's not a striker, Bowen.
I know. He's convinced, though, that Bowen is a striker. And
he's not.
Him inside. No, but he sees him as one. He sees him as a backup striker, right? He does. Because against the weaker sides, Bowen will do all right. But against a grown-up defence, he ain't going to do all right?
No.
He just isn't. He's one of those, against grown-up defence, he's great out wide. But yeah, surely a 1-for-1 replacement would have been Kudus for Bowen. Give Bowen a rest. We've got a game on Thursday, and move Benny out left for Souček, which is what should have happened in the game at the start anyway, right?
Yeah,
that would have made sense. Leave Antonio up front, get him some service from Kudus, right? But instead you put Kudus out right, and you give him fucking Bowen to aim at.
I know. It was bizarre. The minute Antonio went off, nothing. We was never going to get anything else at that point. No. So yeah, look, it is frustrating. So should we go into the player ratings?
Let's do it. Okay. Sorry, I've missed a load of your comments. I'm trying to keep. Can I just mention that one as well? Might be a controversial opinion, but the Czech boys from Deliberated 78 came into the team at a time when we were in a relegation fight.
That's right.
And if you remember, Souček got Hammer of the Year in his first season, and he was worth 50 million, and we should have sold him then, right?
Yeah. But he was good, Souček. I'll tell you what Souček was. He was a box crasher. So he was good at arriving late into the box and he got a few goals, but he was still the same player. He still wasn't a good passer or anything like that.
No.
I got pelters back then for saying I didn't rate him.
I know.
I did, didn't I? Do you remember?
A lot of people agreeing. Yeah, you did. There's a lot of people agreeing as well. You have to impose. No, listen, right? I mean, you're saying and what I'm saying. You can't force yourself to enjoy this football, right?
No.
It's all I'm looking at this year. It ain't really about the style of football and the beauty of football. I'm just looking for results, right? Because I know I ain't going to enjoy it, right? And Mr. Mace, Keith, so he's contributed as well. Thanks, Mr. Mace.
Well done. Well done.
Yeah. So yeah. So I'll come back. I will go through the comments and I'll start some comments while I'm there.
Right. I'm going to go. I'm going to start with Areola. I'll take him. Listen, that's a 10 out of 10 performance. I know you could argue that he made one mistake with the second goal, but that was caused by Aguirre. But he stopped that. He prevented that from being a cricket score. Areola. Yeah. It's hands down. That is a hands down fucking man of the match performance. He was ridiculous how he was. I mean, there was one before I got there. I got there late, and I saw back on the highlights what happened before I got there. My goodness, the geezer. It was just obscene. You know what he's having to do at the moment, and he is adapting as well. Like I say, because I know that Moyes doesn't like quick distribution from keepers. And the thing is, this is another thing as well. So going back to the Brentford analogy, what they did last year. Brentford, they're a fast counter-attacking team. They had David Raya, who Arsenal have just bought in goal for him. And one of his best attributes is quick distribution, getting the ball up the pitch quick. I don't know why Moyes doesn't like it. But it's like if Souček isn't where he should be, Areola's been told to wait. And just aim for Souček so he can flick it on. That's all we're doing.
I said that last year because there's no way Fabianski wanted to hold on to that fucking ball for so long. It's because we were playing negative. He was running the clock down. Even at 0-0, he's running the clock down, right?
I know.
They don't work anymore anyway, does it? If you hold on to it and waste time, it gets added, doesn't it?
Yeah. What are people saying about Areola? I don't think there's going to be any argument with that one with Areola. It was a fucking perfect performance.
I was reading through a few interesting comments. A lot of 9s, few 10s. Let me just. Right, Fred Diamma says 10. Oh, English Yardie, you're a bit harsh, and 8. Paul Sullivan 9. Artel 10. Sorry if I've missed some.
Yeah, it saved us from being 10. Embarrassed. We could have been embarrassed in that one. You know?
Yeah. It's not the first game, no. I mean, look at the performance against Brighton. It was hideous, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was so fantastic, that performance. I mean, you couldn't believe it every time they had a pop a goal, which was every couple of minutes.
I'm telling you now, there was a couple of saves against Brighton that will be in the top 10 saves of the fucking season.
Yeah.
That one from who's their striker? Who's their young striker? I can't think of his name. The 18-year-old kid, Ferguson, isn't it? Is it Ferguson?
Yeah. I can't remember.
Yeah. Right, Gary Emerson.
I saw him in some of the highlights. Do
you want me to lead on these as you didn't watch the game?
No, it's all right. No, because I watched the highlights, quite the long highlights, right? Yeah. And Emerson did some really good stuff in getting forward. I like Emerson. I think he's a very, very good left back, and I love the way he gets forward and links up with players. He's got a great thing going there, hasn't he, with Paqueta? Very good. You know, it's just a shame that he's got Aguirre playing inside him. You know, a guy that's capable of making a mistake all the time. Because what I often see when I'm watching the home games is I see the ball.
I just feel sorry for it. I just feel sorry for Aguirre.
No, I know. Me too. I feel sorry for Aguirre because he's actually a good player. While I'm talking, do you want to put the scores up? Yeah, you want to put the scores up. But what I see quite often is a ball between the lines, between Emerson and Aguirre, and it catches Aguirre flat every time. We didn't see that yesterday, but it's a usual feature. It's a regular feature. What we did see, though, was Emerson surging forward and create a great chance. You know, he went out for a corner in the end, didn't it? But
he was and you know, he went half good defensively as well. Yesterday.
Yeah. He's a regular performer now, Nick. He's a regular good performer. So, look, I mean, we've got to give the high points where they're deserved, and I think he would deserve, for me, an 8. Yeah.
No, I can't really argue with that. I think he was good. He was one of the better players.
Yeah,
one of the better players. I thought, I'll go on to Soufal, shall I? This will be fun.
Yeah, go on.
Right. Do you want to do the comments on that one? Vladimir Soufal. Now, look, this is probably very, very harsh on the player because I don't think, for instance, I said when we was driving up to the game, the minute I heard the lineup, I said to Ben, I said Aguer, Soufal, Souček. There's the problems. Soufal, I said they're gonna target Soufal. He shouldn't have even been in that fucking team up against Doku. They did target him. I mean Doku done him countless times in that first half. That led to one of the chances where Haaland squeezed the ball in and it got cleared off the line by Aguer because he just roasted Soufal. He was taking him time and time again. I'm sorry. It was awful. He was awful. He did put the assist in, but he's getting a donkey. He is. I'm giving him a 4.
You know, I was surprised. Well, you know, with that cross that you put in, which was absolutely pinpoint onto Ward-Prowse's head and what a finish.
It was.
I was really surprised that the Man City defence gave him the time to do that.
Well, I just don't think we've done nothing, Gary. And it's like, I mean, Doku, you saw his weakness there. He weren't tracking back.
No,
he was jogging back. You know. So they had a weakness that we could have exploited if we'd have been a bit more expensive.
He put in the cross for the goal. No, that is literally the one thing he did. I think, you know. And he had. Someone said earlier that he had an okay first half, but a bad second half. I mean, I don't know. From what I saw in the highlights, he seemed to be run ragged by Doku all afternoon.
I don't know what people are saying when they say it's a bit harsh. Is it just because he put a cross in, an unpressured cross onto? It was a good cross, but he had all the time in the world to pick Ward-Prowse out. That's all he did all game. I'm sorry.
I struggle with this as well, Mandy, because he had little chance to get against Doku, not his fault. Well, yeah, Doku's a great player, but you've got to make it harder than he made it, right? You've got to beast him a bit. You've got to get in his way. What you don't do is unforgivable in my eyes, and that is to 41 seconds into the second half, retreat into your own box when you've got time to take him out and foul him and take a yellow card. Invite him into your own box. Open up the space so as he could shoot at the far post and give the keeper absolutely no chance. That was equally criminal.
He got absolutely battered all game long. He didn't get the better of Doku once, Gary.
What I'm saying is that was ridiculous, and that cancels out for me the credit that he got for playing the ball in.
Yep. No. I know. But look, that's my rating anyway. A lot of people saying it's harsh. That's no. I can't. I don't know why. I don't know why he came out for the second half. I mean, sometimes players need saving from themselves. He was having such a torrid time. You know,
a lot of harsh donkeys. Yeah, a lot of harsh donkeys.
That's fine. The donkey's staying. Right. Okay. Gary Zuma.
I mean, he played well as he always does. He's a reliable performer. There was one.
Didn't do anything wrong.
No. I mean, he poor sod was caught in a foot race once, wasn't he? And he ain't the fastest. But that aside, look, a quality performance from Zuma again. He's a regular 8 in my eyes. Give him an 8.
I'd have probably gone 7 for the 2 centre backs.
You reckon? Give him a 7? What did he do to deserve a 7? I thought he did everything right.
7's above average. I wouldn't say anyone done anything very fucking good because I mean he did get a few blocks in. But yeah, that's fine. That's your score. That's all right. Aguer, I'm not going to donk him up for the mistake. Even though it was an absolutely pathetic attempt. That header, it was ridiculous. But yeah, he did some good things as well, Aguer. He made a couple of decent tackles. He also put some blocks in as well. And he sprayed some lovely passes around. But I will, because he was at fault for that goal. It's going to have to be a 6. I'll just give him an average performance.
Yeah, I'm
not going to donk him up.
And again, there's widespread outrage about the Soufal rating in the comments. But I've got to say, and saying, he always works hard. No one's querying how hard he works.
Stick me on the pitch. I'll work hard. I'll be shit as well, though.
He always puts in a shift, but I'm just of the opinion that Soufal is not up to this standard anymore. He's a backup player, should be used for Europe. You know,
fullbacks have to be fast.
Yeah, they do. He's got no legs. No. He was in what I watched. He was petrified of that Doku. Absolutely petrified of him. And you know, I just don't. I think you got to say it as you see it, and I think I probably saw it the same way, even though I didn't see the whole game. But yeah, there's no doubt that he works hard. He always does. But you don't get anything for work. That is a minimum requirement. A baseline requirement. Working hard, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. So you took. I know I took Aguirre.
Oh, sorry, I haven't done Aguirre. Hold on.
No, that's all right. I done Aguirre. I think a lot of people would go.
Sorry, people, I'm not with it tonight, and I'm all over the place with the comments, so bear with me.
That's all right. Right, Gary Ward-Prowse. Go on. I'll do the comments for Ward-Prowse.
Ward-Prowse, what I've noticed...
We've got to get better at this, haven't we, Gary? Hang on.
Yeah, what I've noticed with Ward-Prowse... No, I'm usually better, but I'm just tired, right? What I've noticed with Ward-Prowse is he's absolutely suited to this counter-attacking system because he wants to get that ball forward as quickly as possible by hook or by crook, any part of his body that he has to use, right? He a couple of times, even in the highlights, you saw a couple of times, he's actually found Antonio. It's his first thought as soon as he, so if he had a wide array of people up front with a bit of pace, maybe, who he could find options, I think he would be even better for us. And I've got to be honest, there's very few. I mean,
Ward-Prowse will be able to play. If we change style, Ward-Prowse will be able to play in a different system as well.
Of course he would, but he can also play in this system. That's what I'm saying. And he's, he's corner taking. And apart from that one that was taken by Bowen, which nearly went straight in, right? And his goal is he knows where the net is, doesn't he? He doesn't. If only Antonio had the, how can I say, the clarity of thought that Ward-Prowse has in front of goal. Because he gets a chance. Invariably, it's a target. Invariably scores, doesn't he? He's the bargain in the summer for me at the moment.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that is one where people say I'm stubborn. I held my hands up straight away. I pay very little attention to other teams, especially teams like Southampton. So I was very, very uneducated about James Ward-Prowse.
Me too.
So credit where it's due. He is a good player. I think 7 or an 8 is right. I mean, it was a good goal that he scored.
Give him an 8.
A couple of decent set pieces.
Give him an 8 because he's forward looking, and that's what we need in our team, and because he scored the goal.
Yeah,
he's great.
He is great. Alvarez, he was just doing his usual before he went off. He kind of, look, he was being overrun. We were so deep. He was being overrun. He got he did get manhandled a couple of times as well. I mean, Rodri turned him inside out before he had a shot. He did get exposed, but these are top quality players we're talking about here, and we was just inviting them on. We're inviting them on, and what Alvarez is a first line of defence, so he's kind of got to try and stem that flow initially. But I think for me, because he weren't on the pitch for long, I'm going to give him a 7. I'm not going to go mad.
What happened exactly? I mean, I know it was only cramp, right? Only cramp, because he got back. He was the last one to arrive back because his plane was delayed.
It's a bit weird to get taken off a cramp.
No. He was on the ground. They tried to get rid of the cramp. They tried to, do that bend your foot back thing, whatever that works. But, apparently he was still feeling the pain afterwards. And cramp's horrible. You can't run with it, right?
No.
Clearly he had shaken off the flight. He travelled a long way as well, hadn't he? Like other side of the world. So, it's physical. There's nothing. It's biology. There's nothing you could do about it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, without him, that is the security guard, right? He's the doorman for that.
Yeah. Well, where he sits, I mean, we've said it before, especially when you play in this system, he kind of sits a little bit deeper than the rest of them, and I think the game plan is always to funnel people towards him. It's kind of what we seem to do. And when he went off, it was just like the partner of the fucking Red Sea. You could just see, and that's why for instance, Alvarez had all that time in the world to perform that silly fucking scoop over the top, because all he had marshalling him was Souček, who we're going to go on to next, Gary. Souček.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to see him in the lineup to start with, and I'm not going to make it personal. I'm not going to make it personal.
He was just he didn't do anything.
No, he didn't.
Nodded a ball off the line.
Yeah, he nodded the ball off the line, and he was, from the highlights that I saw, because I did take notice of him, because I was thinking, well, he shouldn't be playing, so I took notice of him. And even though it was only like 20 minutes of highlights that I watched, I just saw last year's Souček of chasing shadows, because he's in, and this happens, right? We've said this at the start of the season. Whenever he's up against a football playing team, he will just make like a traffic cone, and he'll just chase shadows, and people just pass the ball around him, right? He
did nothing.
He wasn't getting the chance of doing what Souček does against a good footballing midfield, and that is, when he gets possession and someone runs towards him, he loses his shit and passes badly. He weren't doing that. He just wasn't getting the ball at all, right?
Yeah.
I wonder how many touches he had.
Souček should be the donkey head and not Soufal. I've got to cut and paste. I can have many donkeys. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, no. But Gary, what's your score?
Souček, yeah, give him a 4.
It's got to be.
Listen, I don't think. Again, I don't think he deserves a 4. As in, it's not his fault that he's played in that game. He shouldn't have been played in that game, and nor should Soufal.
No.
So 2 donkeys, probably down to my selection.
Huh?
Probably down. Those donkeys are down to my selection of his favourites rather than the players themselves.
He don't protect anyone, does he?
No. He sends them out there to get.
Do you know what it smacks of a little bit? It smacks of Southgate with Maguire when Maguire needs protecting and fucking resting, and he keeps on playing
exactly
him.
What it is, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
What it is. Yeah.
But anyway, look, Lucas Paqueta. Yeah, Lucas Paqueta he's just fucking outstanding. He really is. He's the only one really that gets that. When I'm watching that game, and I am bored. All right, we were. Ben was bored as well. He was at the only thing that was entertaining was the Hawaiian Hammers behind me. Keep trying to start songs. Great. They're really good. That was brilliant. But I'm sort of watching it going, fucking hell, this is hard. This is hard graft. But Paqueta is only whenever Paqueta gets on the ball, I'm just like, even if he's deep, he's just fucking good to watch. He's entertaining. I'm giving him for where he was playing, and for the fact that we didn't have the ball very much, and the fact that we was laying a block, he was superb. I'm giving him a 9. He was the best player other than Areola. The best outfield player he was by some distance.
You know, some people, you know, reactive people on Twitter go, "Oh, it's disrespectful of him to hug."
Oh, fuck off!
Who cares? He was nearly a Man City player a few weeks ago. Let me remind you. It's clear that he's already got a relationship with you. You honestly think that was the first time he met Guardiola? He's probably been staying at his house, right? And also he went round and, you know, hugged and shook hands with all the Man City players. Well, everyone did, didn't they?
Look. Listen. It must be fucking irritating for him playing in that game the other day. Watching them knock the ball about. I will say, heaven knows how good he would be playing for them.
Yeah,
because it would be outstanding. But
well, you know what he does. You know what he does, which is kind of unique to him because he's doing it even for us, right? Even for us, he can find that killer ball against almost every team.
Yeah, with a ball through to Antonio. Fuck
me. It was delicious, wasn't it? Delicious.
Absolutely unreal. And
imagine Antonio, putting him in a Man City team with Haaland to fucking run onto it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. You know, for Haaland to miss fucking 18 chances. He's shit. I won't have Haaland. I'm joking.
Overrated.
I'll tell you what, if Antonio had missed half of them chances that he missed, some of our fans would have gone into overdrive. But no, he's a great player. He's an absolute freak. Did you see the volley? Where he kind of his left foot, where he got his foot up about 7 foot in the air and done a volley. I don't know how he does these things.
Yeah, I don't know how he got his body into that position. That was ridiculous.
It's fucking weird. Right, Bowen, Gary.
Can I have Antonio? You have Bowen. Because I didn't see much of Bowen. So you talk about him.
It's an average game. It was an average game. I don't think he defended particularly well in this one. I mean, Soufal was just he was deep, but Soufal was often, you know, one-on-one with Doku, and that probably shouldn't have been the case. So Bowen was neither here nor there quite often. You know, he weren't really defending. He weren't really attacking, I wouldn't say. It weren't one of his better games at all. I don't think he really fancied it in this one.
Did he not give Soufal any protection at all from Doku? No,
he was there, but not really. No, I mean he was there. They were doubling up on him at times, but you know this was one game, especially because I mean if you're in that team as well. I mean I see it when I manage my son's team, right? It happens automatically. So, I mean, today, for instance, we saw there was one our fullback was getting roasted down a wing. Bless him. Yeah. I ain't got to tell the other players automatically from that. Once he gets done once, the other players immediately start tracking that player and going over and helping.
Yeah.
They do it straight away. So I don't know why that didn't happen. It should be like an automatic decision from a player where you see that you got a player struggling, because it's about winning the game, right? It's about winning the game.
This is right. What Damien says here, I believe this as well, because when he has a dodgy game, Bowen, it tends to be because he's been assigned to defend him more than
attacking. Absolutely. He's got to babysit him.
If he had Emerson over the other side, he would probably spend most of the game in the attacking third.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, I would say a 6 for Bowen. It was a very meh game for him. He did. I think the best thing he did probably was he laid that ball out to Soufal, who went and put the cross in. You know, he didn't really do much else.
A pre-assist. A pre-assist.
A pre-assist. Right, Mickey Antonio, a bloke who's very hard done by.
He is, and I think it wasn't a fantastic game from him because he had hardly any service, right? But the service he had, he tried to do something with. He is there as a battering ram. He's there as a battering ram to make life uncomfortable for the centre halves. And we know very well whenever we play against a decent side, you know, is the top side, not Chelsea.
Yeah.
When we play against the top side, he tends to be the one who does all of the dirty work. It is a thankless task. He's going to be, in his own words, feeding off scraps. That's what he fed off yesterday.
He was trying everything. So what he did was he weren't getting anything centrally. So he peeled out to the left wing, and in the first half, he done some lovely fucking runs. I mean, he span. I think it might have been Walker. He span Walker, and he absolutely roasted that fullback. I think it was Walker. I didn't have my glasses because I've lost them, so it was down the other end of the pitch. Look, when James Ward-Prowse scored, I thought it was Antonio.
Yeah,
honestly, that's how bad my eyes are.
Chris, we need a decent striker. You know what? Whatever striker we're going to bring in is going to play the same role as Antonio. He's going to be up front on his own, surrounded by big, tall defenders. So you know, unless we're going to sign, you know, this year's Carlos Tevez or whatever, I think it's going to be trouble. I think if you've got a younger, you know, fresher striker, you know, like Jonathan David, who you keep mentioning, I think that'd be an improvement. But
it would be.
But do I think he'd score 20 goals a season in this system? No way.
No. And I've got to be honest, right? From what I saw with Man City, listen, they ain't going to play West Ham every week, so they won't get that many chances. But when you see the amount of chances that Haaland gets, I'm telling you now, if that's what happens in every Man City game, Antonio would score 30 goals a season for him. I'm telling you, he would. He actually would.
Antonio too for that spin for a goal. I mean, look, I watched it 3 times. I watched it back just to see if I thought he'd fucked it up, and I thought clearly it was a slightly heavy touch, right? But often against other teams, it wasn't that heavy. He would have got away with that heavy touch, but that keeper was off the line.
Yeah, it's what Antonio does, right? Antonio doesn't run like Messi. The ball don't stick to his foot. He knocks it in front of him and he runs onto it. It's what he does.
Yeah, so I think, look, it was a brutal game for him. He didn't. I don't think he fucked it up anyway. It's opinions. I don't think he fucked it up. One said to me, "All right, it's John." I spoke to a group of City fans outside pre-game. One said to me, "Antonio is best at what he does." They feel it pretty good. Everyone does, though. Everyone does fear him. And so look, I'll give him a handful. I'll give him a handful. I can't mark him down.
I know. No. I think that's fair enough. I mean, he didn't. It was an average game, but it was an average game because he didn't really have much to feed off of, you know.
No, okay. What's Andy saying here? Nick, you should have worn boxing gloves to bed when you were younger.
I don't know. Right, so we'll go for Ben Rama. Right, Ben Rama. This was not a good substitute. Is that you?
Oh. Yeah, it's me. I've got to turn that bloody thing down. I've got this thing over in the corner. Go on.
Oh, no. Ben Rama, this was not a good game from him. He had a couple of chances out on the left-hand side to whip balls in. They weren't great crosses, to be quite honest. But then again, he didn't really have anything to sort of aim at because Antonio had gone off. He looked a little bit disinterested for me. He weren't really on the pitch long. He was on the pitch for 25 minutes. I'll give him a 5. It was a below-average performance. He didn't do anything to affect the game negatively for them. Yeah. He did chase back a bit. I will say that he was tracking back, as was this poor fucker who came on with 25 minutes to go and had to spend the majority of his time at right back. That was obviously what he was told to do. You know, he hardly ever got up the pitch, to be quite honest.
He's being moist. He's being moist as we speak.
Yeah, I think that's what David Moyes means when he says that they're not ready. It means he needs time to moist them, so that they know their role. He needs time to moist them to get it into their head. Defense first. Yeah. Fuck all that flash shit that we bought you for. Yeah. You know what's just made you a £40 million player. Yeah. Don't worry about all that. Get back, put your foot in, son. All right.
They get the stamp of approval on their arse. This product is approved for Moyes ball.
Yeah. So Kudus, Gary.
I didn't see it. I didn't see a minute of a second.
I'll give him a 6. I'll give him a 6. An average
did he do anything? Did he do anything good?
Some good footwork. Flashes. Some good footwork.
Has he got the dancing feet?
Yeah, but yeah, he didn't affect the game. Yeah, he weren't going to. Wait, it was a pointless change to take Antonio off and bring. It's like, I don't know. It's like Antonio needs service, and he had no service all game. And then you take Antonio off and bring on players that could feed him.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense.
I mean, honestly,
it doesn't make any sense.
When I heard who they come off for, I thought, oh, that's weird. And then I heard what happened. What was the sequence of this, right? Because Antonio and Souček went off, and Benrahma and Kudus came on. But then a second later, Alvarez went off.
No. The changes were going to be, so first of all, Kudus and Benrahma were standing on the sideline for seven minutes, waiting for 65 minutes, because that's the point. Yeah. That's what it's written down in Moyes' notes. 65 minutes, Kudus and Benrahma. And Alvarez was due to be coming off. Souček was due to be coming off, but Alvarez went down with cramp, so he changed it around. Souček. Okay. That's why Souček. So he was taking Souček off. He was.
Yeah. So he did the right thing, though, probably.
Well, I don't know. You got Fornell sitting on the bench. I don't think he did, because he didn't know. He didn't do the right thing, because Antonio should have stayed on the fucking pitch. We took our focal point off.
He didn't do that right. What I'm talking about with Souček and Alvarez, he had no choice but to take. Because I thought it was a funny situation. When he said he's taking Alvarez off, I thought, really? He's taking Alvarez off?
Honestly, I'm not being funny, right? You could have dropped Paqueta centrally, told him, sit in front of that back four and just block everyone, because he makes more tackles than anyone else anyway. For this 25 minutes, Alvarez has gone off. You sit there, you block, and bring Fornells on. He could have done that. You know, there's other things that you could do. Putting Souček there is pointless. Forquetta's a better tackler than Souček.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
he's a better blocker
than most people. Yeah.
Did Fornells come on? I can't remember. I don't think he did he?
By the way, I'm gutted about Fornells. He's going to go next year. Really gutted.
I'm sure.
I don't blame him. I
don't think Fornells did come on. Ings did nothing. He did less than nothing.
He never does.
5. Can't really give him a donkey. He weren't on long enough. I think Kehrer as well. Same thing.
I think Sam Davies agrees with you and says Fornells instead of Souček would have made a big difference. Well, look, but inside Moyes' head, you got to have a big bloke in the middle, right?
Yeah.
And if it ain't, what's his name? His new favourite, Alvarez, my favourite as well. It will be Souček.
Yeah, I know.
Fanny dings.
It is frustrating though, because look, I'm not being funny. Fornells, we're not really going to be seeing him now. He won't use. Do you know what? He can't give someone like Fornells, who fucking loves this club, who the fans love him, and he's a very talented player. You can't give him time in midfield, but we're going to give a fucking waster in Lingard time in central midfield when he comes in.
You know, that's what we're going to do. Straight into the team.
That's what we're going to do. Yeah.
He's walking straight into the team. Maybe for Souček.
You're fucking no chance.
Imagine that. And then what he'll do is, Nick, he'll take Lingard off for Souček.
Yeah. I know. Right, Peter Wanks. I don't know. Was it? I can't even remember. I don't think I had any grizzles about the referee.
No, I think people were moaning about him earlier. How was the referee, people?
I don't know. I mean, look. What I will say is, no. I will. I'm going to give him a 4. He's all you know. Apart from Keith, all referees are donkeys.
Yeah. Souček's best contribution was standing on the line and letting the ball hit him.
And the reason I'm going to give him that is because this is true, and I'm not saying it for effect. Yeah. They were allowed to foul, and we were not allowed to foul.
Yes, that's what I heard. Yeah.
This is true. So whenever, because you know what the Man City do, they do those professional fouls when you go to break, and they just fucking haul you to the floor. They was allowed to do that whenever we did it. Free kick, booking, you know. Yeah, it's bollocks. So David Moyes. Let's go on to David Moyes. Everyone's heard my thoughts on this. I'm sorry. I won't go too strong on it, because it was Man City. But I'm giving him a 4. I'm actually giving him a genuine donkey score. And the reason
put the donkey back on.
It's staying on there because he's actually got a donkey score. And the reason for that is because he didn't set us up for success. He didn't really give him a chance. And like I said last year, not many teams beat Man City. You don't expect to beat them, but you got no chance if you don't set up in a way where you can. The only reason that we were not embarrassed in that game was because of Areola. That was it. That was and Aguirre clearing off the line and fucking Haaland having an off day. That's the only reason we were not. That was not a cricket score. It was stupid. And I heard him post game as well. You know,
he blamed
it was almost like fine margins. We missed some chances.
Yeah.
Are we watching the same game? You know, it's just.
I know. You know, I think that some people, especially on Match of the Day, who really annoy me, right? By the way, because they're big fans of this football. You know, they'll go and say, "Oh, what a dogged, determined display by West Ham." You know, I see it as cowardly.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
I know.
The players are going to do what he asks them to do. It's not cowardly from the players. It is cowardly.
I'll show these again as well. So we've got these as well. So I've got the old teabag in Moyes out mugs. It's satire, people, before anyone gets the amp. All right. But basically, I'm going to drink tea from it every day. So what I'll do, I'll put a post on the community section tomorrow and let you know. I've not quite figured it out yet how I'm going to do it, but
you shouldn't promote it in a tiny screen like that. Wait till we get big again.
What's that?
Wait until we get bigger on the screen again. Don't promote it in the little tiny window.
I'm not promoting. Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I know. But they. All right, I'll show you again. 1 minute. I'll get it off. Why does the screen always do that on me?
There you go.
Right.
Yeah. Default.
So these ones, I actually forgot I'd ordered these. So teabagging, Moyes out. There you go. Got the and you got the old claret and brew logo on the other side. They're nice mugs. So what I'm going to do, we'll probably take orders for them. So I'll do. We'll probably run it for about a week from Monday to Friday. I'll find a way of doing it. I'll put a post on a section tomorrow. Then I'll order them in bulk and then I'll send them out. So there'll be a 2 to 3 week turnaround probably. Because I ain't going to order them now off the back of all you lot telling me that you want them because I don't want to be stuck with a load of fucking mugs. So
does the mug come with a free tea bag? Well, I'll tell you what, we're chucking a tea bag.
We're chucking a tea bag, yeah.
You've actually got a vast selection of tea bags, haven't you?
I have got a vast selection of tea bags. More on that next week.
Some for me. I need to get them.
I've drunk yours already.
Have you?
Yeah.
Have you?
No, of course I haven't.
You better not.
No. Right, so look, that is that. Man of the match is Areola, by the way. That's hands down. So there was no point even talking about that. That was going to be Areola.
Pie match, how can I buy 2? Nick will publish how to do it. Right?
I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it tomorrow in the community section, mate. So keep your eye out for that. Yeah. What's that? Could you do a coffee? I'll tell you what I probably could do. So I'll give you the option because I'll order them in bulk. So you can either have tea bag in or coffee in. So I'll do 2 different ones. You'll have to let me know what you want. I'm going with tea bag in.
Didn't you have some Colombian play on words with one?
Claret and boobs mug.
Claret and boobs. Yeah. Didn't you have some Colombian's finest something or other in the coffee?
No, I've got that. I've got a coffee one. It's Colombian rocket fuel. Yeah. I was going to put Colombian marching powder on it, but I thought I better not. But yes. So moving on to Thursday night, Gary. Now the European journey starts this week. We play Topola. You know, I think they're a Serbian team. Never heard of them before. We're playing them now. What I have looked at, Yorkshire tea. What I have looked at,
no Earl Grey. Yorkshire
is
tea, 2 of them, 2 bags.
Is what would happen to us. So basically, what we've got to do, we've got to either win that group, or we're going to want to finish third. Because if we finish second, we play the team that finished third from Group F in the Champions League, and that is PSG, Newcastle, AC Milan, and Dortmund.
Yes.
So if you finish, so if you don't win the group, you're probably just better off finishing. I'm not saying we can't beat them teams, but it's going to be difficult. So I think if we don't finish first, I think it's going to be better for us to finish third, drop into the conference, and have another pop at winning that again. That's what I think anyway.
Right. I think a couple of things. Andrew North, can you send them to Australia? I'm sure Nick will sort it out. If you,
Yeah, yeah.
Andrew?
I've never done.
Know.
I've never. Yeah, yeah. I'm getting the missus to figure out all the how we send overseas, because we've had a few people saying from Europe and that as well.
Yeah, I ain't got a clue how you do that, to be honest, but I'm sure it's quite easy to figure out. You just need to make sure it's packed properly.
Well, pie mash and liquor. Don't worry about it. I'm going to put it on a community section anyway. But what I'll do is I'll do a ramble tomorrow as well, and I'll let everyone know on there as well. So there'll be a show tomorrow where and I'll point you towards how to do it, and I'll put the link in the comments and stuff like that. So link in the description and stuff like that. So
this is a good idea. This is a good idea. It should be the next design, a mug with a donkey on it. Yeah.
That's got a donkey. Yeah, it's got a donkey on it.
Has it got a donkey on it, Shaz? Oh yeah. There you go.
See, Blake. There you go. See.
Yeah.
That's it. I know. I mean, what do you reckon on Thursday? We should walk it, shouldn't we? But I'll tell you what. What do you think? What do you think he's going to do? Do you think he's going to go strong, or do you reckon he's going to kind of play a 50-50 team against them? Because this is a bit of a Europa. This feels like a bit of a Europa Conference League team that we're playing on Thursday.
Yeah. It won't be a 50-50 team. It will be a 75% full strength side, like he always does before out of trouble. So I expect to see Antonio up front. I expect to see Bowen playing. I expect to see probably a few people like Zuma will get a rest, right? Players like that, and I think that it will be. It's against a weak side, like you said. They're like Conference League standard. We should our second string should be able to beat these. But I'm not suggesting a second string. I'm suggesting 50-50. I'm suggesting Kudus gets a game instead of Bowen on the right wing. Right.
I'd love to see him get a full game.
Yeah. And I'm suggesting that we play an attacking brand of football and don't fucking sit deep against these. It'd be insulting if we do that.
Mavropanos has got to play as well, hasn't he?
Of course he has. Yeah, give him a run out. You've got to see Mavropanos. Got to see Dinos.
You got to rest Zuma, because as good as Zuma is, I'm swear he's playing with an injury.
Yeah. Because he runs. He's got a bad limp, hasn't he?
He's definitely he's lame. Do you know what I mean? He's definitely playing with an injury. So I don't know. Everyone's talking about T.
I can't even go. I've bought 2 tickets for it, and I can't even bloody go because
I've got training on Thursday. Got to train my boys on Thursday. So
all day session at work, and then I've got an evening. I can't bloody do it. But so £80 on tickets, and anyone want 2 tickets?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. If
you want 2 tickets.
Well, I'll tell you what. If they do, you could do a giveaway on the channel, Gary. You could do that. You could do a little quiz.
Listen, if we
do it on a ramble, next week.
Yeah, is it easy to do? Is it easy to do?
It's easy to do. Yeah, do that. Do it on a ramble. Give away 2 tickets.
Confirm in the comments if I've got 2 tickets. They just need to be transferred to another patron number, right? I think that's right.
You just got to make sure you've got an account.
Yeah, you got to make sure you've got a patron number. Yeah. If someone could confirm that, someone that knows, that would be good. Yeah. Is it sold out? No chance, Irons. It ain't sold out. But these 2 tickets that I've bought, the good tickets in the Bobby Moore Lower.
They are good.
It's actually the row in front of where we usually sit, because as you heard last week, I missed out on my tickets, right?
Yeah.
So I moaned about it endlessly.
So you're further forward.
1 row further forward and on the end of the row, pretty much. So they're really good seats. The Bobby Moore Lower is the best place to be, right?
Yeah.
Oh! Hawaiian says they're paper tickets. Are they? No, mine ain't, because it's just my my season ticket cards that they're on. So I would assume I could just transfer those tickets to someone else.
Why don't you see if you can download the ticket like electronically? Because when I've had it before, you get the QR code, and then all someone's got to do is show the QR code. Yeah.
All right.
Well, what's that? So I'm sure that'll be fine.
Yeah. I was sent 2 emails with the. I think they've got the QR code on.
Just do that.
I'll find a way. Right.
Yeah,
of course, yeah.
But yeah, I think we should get through this. We should. I mean, obviously, and then sort of beyond that, you've got Liverpool at the weekend. Are we expecting exactly the same lineup again?
I think so. I mean, but what I'd like to see, just make this game against the European side, make it watchable. And the way to make it watchable is to put Mabama up front with Ings, right?
Just give us some entertainment.
Let's go 4-4-2. Let's put Obama up front with Ings. Let's put Kudus on the right. let's put, I don't know, Ben Rama on the left and really go for it, right? Rest all those other players. Give Antonio and Bowen a rest, right? In the middle, play Souček.
You could even play Cornet in Europe. Give Cornet a game. There's no reason why not. We've got a squad. Use it. And that way, as many players that are fresh for Saturday. Is it Saturday? No, it's Sunday, isn't it? For Sunday, the better. But
did I get my coin? Did I get my coin? Let me tell you.
What's that?
I did get my coin.
Yeah,
there's another one from Ross in the kitchen as well. So yeah. I mean, look, I don't want any money for them. They're 80 quid for the 2 tickets, I think they were. But
no, just do them as a giveaway on your ramble.
I'll be happy to do a giveaway, but it can only be a giveaway to someone that's got a Patreon number, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Unless I can just send a PDF to whoever, right?
Let me see if I can pair my phone. Hang on 1 minute.
And as you know, I'm having a bit of a nightmare at the moment in making rambles, but I will try to squeeze one in sometime, maybe early in the morning this week.
Yeah. Right. Go through some comments, Gary. I'm going to try and set this up.
I am going through comments. You don't notice. I mean, the conference coin. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, that is the conference coin. Moyes has no imagination in Europe. No, he doesn't. But the way we play in Europe, it's very, very effective. Right, I've got to say. We could and should go far in Europe. It is a really strong competition, like Nick said. Yeah, it's working. It's a really strong competition this year. Liverpool, all sorts of other teams in it. Now I know those players, the good teams can end up playing each other, and you can end up with a lucky situation of certain teams being knocked out. And God, I hope that's going to happen. But I am with Nick on this. If we can't win the league, right? Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea, Andy. Make it maybe a donation, go to the young lad. Yeah.
That's not a bad shout.
Yeah. So we could make an agreement that you just go and put, I don't know, a score or whatever in the GoFundMe. Yeah. I'll do that. Slam the likes, people. Yeah,
yes, please do.
435 on this beautiful Sunday night. If you haven't liked, please like. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe.
Right.
If you haven't become a member, please become a member.
There you go. Free to call in now, people.
Not being silly, but if the likes of Kara Cornet, Ings, Fornells can't play against Serbian teams, you might as well. Yeah, I agree. Fornells has got to get a game, and so as well. Ings only is part of a front two, and that's what I'm saying. Pre-season, there was that game where Ings and Mabama played up front in Australia. They looked really good. Yeah. Right? So why not? Why not do something?
No, absolutely. Yeah. I think it makes sense, and it would be good. It's good to keep. You've got to keep all those players interested.
Unknown caller.
Yeah.
Hello, Nick speaking. Oh, hang on, mate. 1 minute.
Oh, who we got?
Sorry, mate. Can you hear me? Oh, you can. Who's this, mate? Who am I talking to?
I can't hear anything.
Dylan. Hello, Dylan.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. Can you hear Dylan?
Yeah, I can hear Dylan now. How you doing, Dylan?
Oh, good stuff.
I'm good, thanks.
Oh, good stuff. What would you like to talk about, Dylan?
I'd like to talk about why is everyone not liking how Moyes is playing at the moment? Because I think it's not bad if we get a few more counter attacks up. I think it's quite entertaining how we play.
Yeah, I think it could be. I think you're right. I mean, I referred to it earlier on. So if you go back to the Brentford analogy that I used earlier on. Now Brentford are a defensive team. They play counter-attacking, but they're quite good to watch. And the reason that they're more effective at doing that in a more consistent basis, because we've only been able to pull this. We're only 4 games into the season. For instance, against Man City, they left 2 fast players up front all the time. So what they're able to do is transition quickly, fast, and get up the pitch. That's what they can do. So look, I'm with you. When you put, I haven't got a problem with counter-attacking football against these teams, providing we've got a valid counter-attacking threat further up the field. But yesterday we didn't, mate. There wasn't a counter-attacking threat. It was a slow build-up. For instance, when Areola's got the ball, you can see he's not getting the ball out quickly. He's waiting for Thomas Souček to meander up so he can aim at him and get the flick on. By that time, City have regained their shape. So I'm not against playing counter-attacking football.
Yeah, I get that, but we've got the players for it, and we can do it right. It's just we're not I don't know. I don't really know how to say it, but
Well,
we've just got to
look,
use it a bit more.
yeah,
Advantage,
I think Dylan. Some people, just look at the results, and I think the results have been pretty good. And I don't blame people for doing that. That's fine, right? Because football style, quality of football, is not really important to some people. I think counter attack. I've said before, I don't particularly like it the way Moyes plays it, but it can improve. It can improve with pace and bringing Kudus and everything else in. So he's got the tools now, Moyes. He just needs to use them, I reckon, to make it a little more aesthetically pleasing. But some people, the way it's played is not an issue. They'll happily just go along and watch whatever style of football as long as the results are right.
Yeah.
I just don't think the results are gonna be all right if we stick to this formation that includes Souček. Right?
Yeah. I'll tell you what it is. If your goalkeeper's getting man of the match every game, Dylan, then something ain't right.
Yeah.
Something ain't right, is it?
Yeah, but now we've got Alvarez and more pricing for Rice. I think now it's making it a bit more balanced in midfield with Souček. It's like, because last year I think there's a lot worse than Souček with Rice.
Well, I think
Souček, Alvarez, and Ward-Prowse.
Do you not think that Alvarez balances up the midfield really well in replacement for Rice? But
now it just looks like Souček's getting out a bit more.
Yeah, why is Souček playing?
Yeah, but the thing is, I'd look. Listen, you never need more than 3 central midfielders, do you? So you've got and who should those midfield 3 be in your opinion, Dylan, from the players that we've got?
I think Souček should get dropped for Kudus because he's got the pace and we want to play counter-attacking football.
Yeah, but that's never going to happen.
I agree with you. That's exactly what I agree.
I completely agree. But that's never going to happen. He ain't going to play central. I don't think he is, because especially while we've got Paqueta. So I don't think he will. I think when he does play, he's going to play out on the wing.
Souček's one of those undroppable players that Moyes has every year. You got Bowen, you got Antonio, you got Souček, you got Zuma, and I'm not saying any of those others should be dropped, but once they're on that list of undroppables, they never get dropped. Whenever they're fit, they play. Don't matter what happens.
Yeah, but looking at from yesterday when Souček come off, like normally Moyes wouldn't do that. I think he's starting to realise a bit more.
I hope so.
We can play a lot better with Souček off the pitch.
Yes. Yeah.
And he did it a few times last season, if you remember as well. We started bringing Souček off, and we loved it when he did that.
I just think, look, if we were to play a counter-attacking game, then but there is a difference between a counter-attacking game and what we did against Man City. That wasn't a counter-attacking game. That was just a low block. There wasn't a counter-attack. Even Mickey spent most of the game in her own half. Now, if you go back to that period when we had Jesse Lingard, for instance, that was counter-attacking football, and that was quite exciting.
That was good.
Yeah, so that was quite exciting. So if it progresses into something like that and it becomes more watchable, then more people will buy into it. But we're not doing that. We can't go, even though we've had good results at the start of the season. Against Bournemouth, we threw away 2 points because we scored and then just for some reason just decided to try and block them out. We ended up hanging on for dear life for a point. And then against Chelsea and Brighton, Areola was man of the match in those games. He pulled off some amazing saves in those as well. So they was a game of fine margins. They were great wins. And then against Luton, we was never comfortable at any point. So what I'm saying is, and we've conceded so many chances in all of those games, and it just seems mad when you play as defensively as we do. So we shouldn't be conceding so many chances. But that's because we haven't got an outlet. When you ain't got an outlet, you're inviting a team on. You're just inviting them on.
Yeah. Can I just say, this one here, right? Kudus has never played on the left before, but do you think he could? Well, he's a left footer. I don't see...
Moyes don't play wingers on their natural side.
No, I know he doesn't. Because Bowen's a left footer as well, and he plays on the right. But it's
that's why I don't play corner as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, that's a good point actually. That is probably why he doesn't play corner. Yeah.
No, I know. But no. I mean, in answer to your question, I don't enjoy the style of football because it's entirely defensive. What we're doing at the moment. Now, did I enjoy the wins? Yes, I did. And I think the points haul. If you ask me to ignore the performances and look at results only, even with the Man City loss, I'd give it a 9 out of 10 for the start of the season with a points haul. I would. Yeah. It's far more than I would have predicted. It is. But when you look at the football and you have to experience it, personally, for me, I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy defensive football. And I think that we've got.
I enjoy it because I like the counter attacking. How we just like when we have an overload on, say like 2 or 3 offenders, it works quite well for us with like the fast players we got.
Yeah.
And how we want to play.
Yeah, but that's fine. Look, everyone's got a different taste, I suppose, haven't they? But for me personally, and that's why. Look, listen, I'll be honest. I'll hold my hands up. I struggle to even. I struggle to analyse that style of football because I think that we've got a really expensively assembled squad of players over, like 400 million plus over the last 3.5 years, and we set up like Sheffield United would set up against Man City, who have just been promoted, and I just think that it doesn't make any sense to me. I think we're better than that. And I'm not asking us to go toe to toe. I'm not asking us to sort of do anything stupid. All I'm saying is leave a few players up the pitch, Moyes. Give us a fucking chance. Give us, you know.
There's a few comments in here from 1K Sessions saying, I was at the game. I thought we played well. Mistakes and chances not taken second half. And we tried to go for it with Alvarez coming off. Messed it up. Yeah, I think Alvarez coming off definitely messed it up. But when talking about chances not taken, I think you got to include City in that as well, right? I mean, there are loads of chances they didn't take. Zuma's chance was taken. That was a great save. Antonio's the only one whose chance didn't get taken, isn't it?
That was actually a wonderful save from Edison. That was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, they had the one as well from Aguerd.
Yeah.
It also says if you open up. Oh right, okay, yeah. If you open up to Man City, you'll get punished. Hence the third goal. Well, I think that was down to Alvarez not being
there,
and Aguerd making a mistake, right?
Yeah, but again, this goes back to me saying this is what people take it out of context. What you've got is David Moyes. Moyes' ball is extreme defence. That's what that is.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I want to go the polar opposite way against Man City. I'm not saying that would be stupid. You wouldn't do that. But what we do is extreme. It's defence in the extreme, and we've got players in the team that are capable of so much more. We could hurt.
Yeah, I'm not.
We could hurt. We could have hurt Man City defensively.
Yeah, I'm not trying to start like the owners how everyone is at the moment, but it's their fault for not. And that's the only way Moyes can play. We saw it last year when he tried to play with the ball. He can't do it. It's the only way he can play. And so it's not really his fault for playing how he wants to play. Because Sullivan and Brady know that they like him because they've got control of the club still. And he's not going to do a lot about it.
Nigel made the same point when he was on here. He said, look, it all comes back, all roads lead back to, for instance, for me, I don't like the style of football and I get the ump with Moyes. So he says, well, look, it's not Moyes. You've got to look at Sullivan because at the end of the day, they are the reason that we have these styles of manager. They're the reason that we had Sam Allardyce. They're the reason that we've got David Moyes because they don't give a fuck about entertainment. All they care is about stability in the Premier League. That's all they worry about. So that is true. It is true. But nonetheless, it's when you watch the games and you do what we do, you can't. Well, look, whether I was doing this or not, I'd be exactly the same, mate. I'd still be getting fed up with that football. I was kind of brought up with watching West Ham go out and have a go at the opposition. You know that's kind of what we do. You go out and you do go at them, but we don't do that now. You know,
Damien, question for you, right? I don't like wingers on their natural foot. Do you reckon Doku? He looked like he was playing his natural foot.
I think Doku's a right winger, but he plays on the left. Yesterday.
Does he?
No, he chops inside.
Did he chop inside? No, he got down the line once, didn't he? And crossed a great ball.
Yeah, he can use both feet, but
he scored on his right.
He is right-footed. He chops inside.
I was just asking.
But he will use him. He basically he's used him on the right as well. And I think when we played Rennes, Doku was playing on the right, if you remember.
I think if I'm the left against Soufal again, I remember him getting past him a lot against Rennes when we played Rennes as well.
Yeah, so it's
just like a natural thing for Soufal with fast wingers. He can't really cope against them. So I think that,
But wingers do tend to be fast.
Yeah.
They do. That's the
thing.
But
Soufal can only keep up with like a Grealish. He always gives him just keeps him don't let him get away. He can't really do a lot. Grealish.
Yeah, he does all right against him.
Villa went on to the left side.
Yeah, but
on his pace, he can't handle it.
No, he can't. But Dylan, to wrap this call up, what are your expectations for the season? Do you think that if he makes no changes at all and we carry on playing the way that we're playing, which is a very, very defensive way? Do you think he needs to adapt it a little bit just so that he can give us more of a counter-attacking threat? We know that he ain't going to go to a progressive passing game, but do you accept that he at least needs to give us more of an outlet so we can be more of a threat on the counter?
Yeah, I think we'll be all right. But I remember in Everton because he always used to do this at Everton. He had like two or three good seasons, then he had like the odd bad season in that because he's trying to adapt to like a different game.
Yeah,
they clock on to what he's doing. But I think we'll be all right for most of the season.
Yeah. No, that's fine, mate. That's fine. Well, thank you very much for the call, Dylan. Good to talk to you.
Dylan.
Yeah, thanks.
Cheers, mate.
Bye.
Speak to you in a bit.
See you later.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Right, I'm gonna give Hammers Mikey a call back.
Hammers Mikey.
Claret and Boobs.
Claret and Boobs.
Yeah.
Hello. All right, lads.
Hello. It's Claret and Boobs. It's Claret and Boobs.
Claret and Moobs.
Claret and Moobs. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. How are you, mate? You all right?
Yeah, no, but just fucking try not to swear, but pissed
You
off.
can swear.
Usual.
You can swear. It's fine.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you can do C-bombs, we do, but just try and minimise the C-bombs because the YouTube algorithm don't like it.
You get demonetised immediately upon a sleep on.
Yeah, fucking.
But yeah, go on. What do you want to talk about, mate?
Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear us? Have you dropped your phone?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear us?
Hello.
Oh, fucking hell. I'll call him back.
I don't know what's happening now. I think he's been mugged.
He has.
In all, 1KJ sessions, fancy it's over the Liverpool game. Ooh, away at Liverpool.
Hello, Mikey, can you hear us? What's going on? Hello, can you hear us?
I think.
Oh, let's just hang up with this fucking phone. Pass that cable in it.
I'll wait for him to call. But I'll tell you what, I'll phone Alfie. 1 minute. I'll give him a call back.
Phone Alfie. Now, to be honest, Pie Mash Liquor.
Hello, is that Alfie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, mate.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
I thought you was calling the wrong person for a second because I think I got a little delay on my stream because you was calling Mikey.
I was
confused whether to answer or not.
I tried to call Mikey, but he sounded like he was doing something in his pockets that he shouldn't have been doing, and I couldn't get through to him. So, how are you, mate? Anyway, you all right?
No worries. Yeah, I mean, I'm good. I mean, obviously, reflecting on the game, I think the whole season has been quite a good season, considering what we all predicted after our preseason.
Yeah.
But the main question has always been, if we went behind in the game, how would we react to that? And obviously, when it was at 1-1 and that Zuma header, and obviously it was a brilliant save by Edison.
Really good.
If that goes in, we probably see that game out 2-1.
Yes.
Probably being a bit optimistic, but we probably do that. And it was a reflection of when things don't go our way and then we do go down.
Yeah.
We just kind of went, we ain't getting back into this now. So obviously it's Man City. I ain't going to throw my toys out of the pram right now.
No.
I don't like the manager. I don't like the style of football. I can admittedly say that. But either way, it's been a good start to the season.
It has been.
We've got Europe this week. So looking forward to that. But hopefully we don't have a bad game against Liverpool. Hopefully we can respond in a positive way.
Yes. Yeah. Well, hopefully. But do you think the tactics against Man City then? Do you think it was the right way to go, or would you have liked us to have seen us try and be a little bit more expensive?
It's funny you say it, because when you look at the individuals we've got in our team now, most of them want to be on the ball.
I know.
And most of them, and you said it yourself, when we had that 5 minutes of when we had the ball and City just couldn't get it off us, it led to a goal. And I'm not saying you can do that against 90 minutes for Man City.
No.
Because at the end of the day, we saw the pace of Doku, the pace of Haaland. He did it last season, Haaland, when he just got played through and he went and scored against Areola.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that that's the best approach to have versus City. But what I'm trying to say is you saw it yesterday. Even when you sit in against Man City, they're going to create, and they're going to create a lot. You're inviting too much pressure on. I mean, Areola again, it was the exact same as Brighton. We could have lost at Brighton 4-3.
I know.
5-3. We could have lost that, right? But things went our way, right? Yesterday, even though it was a decent performance in some aspects, it also wasn't because, people are saying that the defence has been okay and we've been a good defensive unit. But truly we haven't because we've been inviting too much on our goalkeeper.
We've conceded in every game so far, including Luton. And this is with playing a lot of, and this is with a lot of bodies behind the ball. And this is the thing; it isn't I don't think you can call it a defensive masterclass when what your plan is just to block the fucking traffic with as many bodies as you can. That's basically what a low block is. You just create two walls of defence, and I don't think I don't think you can really blame individuals either. Yeah, fair enough. Soufal, because I just don't think he's a good enough fullback. But I mean, Aguerd, I've got no idea the amount of concentration you've got to have to be a centre back in that system, playing
for
that
100
way.
plus minutes.
For that, so to try and maintain when you're under the cosh. Like I said, the ball was in play for 65 minutes. They had 30 chances. That's an event every 2 minutes you're having to try and deal with. There's no respite. There's no respite at all. So I don't know.
I think you need to be extremely.
You guys said it yourself.
Go on, mate.
Go on.
Oh, that's right. You guys said it yourself. Areola, he saved us from an embarrassing scoreline yesterday.
Yeah.
We could have easily walked out of that game 6-7, and that's not even being over the top. It could have really been that. And then obviously we would have been, reviewing the game in a different aspect because it's unacceptable. Yeah. I don't know how Haaland missed them, but thank God he didn't. But it's like you said, Nick, lapsing concentration. You can't do that against any team in this league because they're all going to punish you. It don't matter if it's Man City or Luton. You saw it against Luton. They punished us because we switched off for a second. You can't do it.
They did. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is the lapses in concentration, they're going to happen when they're under so much pressure constantly for 90 minutes. Yeah. They are. You can't not, if it's a constant barrage of attacks the whole time, you've literally got to put in a perfect performance every game as a defender and a goalkeeper. You've got to, because of the margins are so fine. You're not really giving yourself any breathing space. So I don't know. And it has very, very evidently it's worked this year. But even without Areola's saves, right? Haaland missed 2 open goals. They hit the post and they had 2 chances cleared off the line that beat Areola. So they could have been 6 or 7 without Areola saves. That's
easily. And you can't. I can't look at those stats. I mean, I'm not really that much in. Like if you're playing counter-attacking football, your possession stats are always going to be shit, right? But the one stat I do take notice of is number of shots and shots on target, and it's just so out of balance. It's so out of whack, and the fact that the keeper set a new Premier League record. I mean, you can't expect him to do that every game. I mean, you look at the game he's had against Brighton and Chelsea as well. He saved us against Chelsea. He saved us against Brighton and against. He saved us from a smacking yesterday. Let's be honest. But we can't be relying on him making these outrageous saves, and some of them really are outrageous. Every game, because we shouldn't be opening up like that. We're opening up like the Red Sea.
They shouldn't be. And I'll tell you what is amazing, right? And this is the thing. I didn't react on Twitter directly after the game. I didn't. And do you know the other thing I don't do, which I never do? I'll read so much stuff that I don't agree with on Twitter. I never jump on someone else's post and say, you're talking bollocks. You don't know what you're talking about. I don't. What I'll do is I'll read everything, I'll consume it, and then I'll do my own post about what my thoughts are. That's what I do. And the fucking reaction from people on there. But this is the thing, and it's almost like you think about it and you think, how are you not allowed to have an alternative opinion nowadays.
No,
bearing in mind, we're 5 games in. We've won none of the games that we've won comfortably. I know the scoreline would suggest otherwise, 2-3-1 results, but they weren't comfortable. Our goalkeeper was a man of the match in them. We scraped past Bournemouth. We got a point. We scraped past Luton. It ain't like we've been amazingly fucking amazing for this start of the season, and I've still got burning in the back of my mind the last 18 months in the league. And I know we was great in Europe, and I know we won the cup, but the league is what pays the bills. And I am concerned about the league. I still am, and I don't think that this is sustainable to play this way. If you're going to set up because I think eventually as well, Alfie, I think what's going to happen is I'm sure if we play like that for 10 games, you're going to start getting players getting fucked off again in that system, because the players that we've got. Like you said, they like being on the ball.
Another point to add to that as well is, right, you said it ain't going to be sustainable in the league. We're playing every 3 days now. We're going to be playing every 3 days now. To ask players to stay off the ball, constantly run around teams that are going to come at you constantly. We're going to be physically dead. And you know what Moyes is like? He won't make a lot of rotations. He'll make 1 or 2 changes at the max.
He will,
right? It's going to be far too much for asking the players. And then you're going to get people, right, who you, on paper, you wouldn't expect to come, right, to the London Stadium and do it. There's going to be some shock results. It's too much to ask players these days to be playing every 3 days like this way, right?
Yeah.
If you're on the ball, it's sustainable for a good amount of time. But listen, it was a good month while it lasted, but yesterday was a real reality shock. This isn't going to work out in the long term.
We're going to get another one on Sunday.
I think we got away.
Jimmy. Thank you, Jimmy.
Oh, cheers, Jimmy. Thanks very much, mate. I think we got away with one. I think we actually got away with one by losing 3-1. I do. I think we could have really, really been embarrassed there, and at some point. It is going to happen. It might not even be a Man City or a Liverpool that do it. When you play this way, like you said, one thing that we have done so far this year is we've always gone and got the first goal, which is very important when you play this way. But I tell you what, you go conceding early. If you concede early against someone when you set up like this, fucking hell, I don't know what you do.
I'll reluctantly accept it against City and Liverpool, but I won't accept it against Sheffield United in 2 weeks' time. Not at all.
No, but. That's the funny thing, though, Nick, right? You said it yourself a minute ago, and it literally just came to my mind about it, right? Against Chelsea, if that penalty goes in 2-1, we probably don't win that game, right? Against Luton, last minute, if VAR checked that penalty claim on James Ward-Prowse, many people say it's controversial. VAR is inconsistent. We could have easily drew that game on top of Bournemouth,
easy,
right?
Easy.
So it's not like what you said. We've had luck on our side.
Yes, we have, and thank God we have, because one thing that this does do, and this is what I mean, I've been criticised on Twitter for, he's losing his mind, we've lost against City. No, I ain't melting down at all. No. I'm just saying the same thing that I've been saying for a long time. It's absolutely
just worried, right, Nick? Nick, you're just worried. You're worried. You want to avoid another fucking relegation fight, because nobody wants that, right? Nobody wants a relegation fight. And look, we love it when West Ham win. But it don't mean we have to enjoy the Moyes style of football, but we love it when West Ham win. And it's been fantastic we got those points on the board, because looking at those fixtures before the season started, I was thinking 2-3 points.
Yeah.
So we've done it. It's an amazing return. No one's saying it isn't.
Liverpool we're going to have to go at, though, because I think Damien says it down there. He said he's not sure that he'd accept it against Liverpool. Backs against the wall, because you know something? That really is playing into Liverpool's hands, because, again... Liverpool, I know. Listen, Liverpool are kind of they've been quietly going about their business. They've been getting results. They weren't great against Wolves the other day, but they're vulnerable defensively. That's where you hurt Liverpool. You push them back. If they're another team, don't just sit back. When you've got the likes of Salah and all the other players that they've got, you don't just sit and wait, because it will come. Do you know what I mean? The goal will come. It will do. It's an inevitability.
They're a great side, Liverpool, but I'd say if you're sitting deep, if you play if you push up the pitch against them, then that's when Salah comes into his own, getting in behind you and all that sort of stuff. But I think when and they're vulnerable from corners as well. I think I think he will play the same team. I think he will play Souček, and I think we'll be looking for a set piece. And I think that Man City were always going to unpick us. I know that Liverpool, they definitely struggle against sides who sit with 11 men behind the ball. But they will unpick us as well, just not as well as Man City did.
No, I know.
You know what it is? I get the feel against Liverpool. They get a little bit impatient with the ball. After a certain amount of time, you get players like Salah and Diaz. Their main attributes is they've got pace. They want to run in behind you. When we're sitting so deep and you've got players like Darwin Núñez and people like this who can't run in behind you, you're playing into them not being able to do what they do best.
Yeah, no, I know. Like, I completely agree, mate. Yeah, go on.
I know this is like completely off topic, but it's something that's stopping me from really enjoying the football.
Yeah.
And it's the other day I was watching Bayern Munich versus Leverkusen, right? And I was watching it and going, this is what Tim Stridon created, right? He found a manager from nowhere. He got this squad together. He got this team. They played Bayern Munich off the fucking park, right? At their own
I saw it.
It's like, you've got teams, right, who are playing good football. And, I know that it's effective in some games, but in, the modern society of football, playing good football is not something that's majorly over the top to ask for. It's kind of like the main dominance in football now is playing good football.
They are. I'll tell you what, I know we don't like stats, but to expand on the shot stats, just to reinforce this the other day. So I'm going to show you this as well. So this was a breakdown of their shots. So blocked shots, City had 9 to our 1. Shots on the bar, they had 1 to our 0. Shots inside the box, they had 18 to our 5. Shots outside the box, they had 11 to our 1. That is literally, and that was a close game.
That's amazing.
And this is what I mean. And people are telling me I'm a fucking idiot. And I don't, you're being too negative. And do you know what I will never accept, right? And this isn't me saying, oh, we're playing Man City, I expect to beat them. No, I don't. I expect us to go out there and fucking and give it a good go, though. That's what I expect. Yeah. And I expect that of every game. But what I hate is people saying, oh, it's Man City, it don't matter.
I know. It does matter.
Fuck
does
off.
matter. We've just lost a game.
You're admitting defeat. Why even go to the fucking game if that's your attitude?
Yeah. I never come out. Whenever West Ham lose, it cuts deep, right? And I know it does with most people. I hate it. I'm not just going to accept that we should lose against Man City. I hated it every time it happens. Like even those ones under Pellegrini where we turned up and got thumped against them every time. I hated it. I despised it. Never once to turn around and say, oh, it's Man City, we let them off today. No. I want to see my team have a go at other teams. Always. And I don't care who they are because that is the West Ham way. That is the actual West Ham way.
It is, but the thing is as well, is now what we've done is we've gone by hook or by crook, whether it was luck or not, we've gone and got points on the board. So we're relatively comfortable at the minute. So this is like a perfect opportunity for David Moyes to build on that. And I ain't saying even appease the fans, to improve our results and improve our chances of winning games, because he's all about results. He's now got the players, he's got the tools to play. And I ain't even saying progressive. I'm not saying possession-based football. But give us a fucking counter-attack, then.
Yeah.
Just give us a counter-attack. Leave Kudus and Antonio up the field. Do that.
Yeah.
Can I counteract to what you said there about having the points on the board? It could also be taken in a way where if stuff doesn't go our way, he'll come out and start saying stupid little comments like, oh, well, we've got these points on the board, proven that it is effective. You just got to stick with me. You got to give me time. Yeah. We're going to get back on track. Even though right now it seems a positive, in the future, this start could be a really bad thing for us.
Yeah, this is actually
maybe that's me being too negative.
No, you're absolutely right.
Maybe that's just me being negative from what he did last season. I think I'm still a little bit...
We could all be lured into a false sense of security because football's all about momentum. And the thing is, at the moment, we're buzzing at the moment, and the players are as well, because what I will say is the players are committed and they're trying their best to sort of to deliver this whatever it is that David Moyes wants them to do. But if the mood shifts, if we lose a few games and it starts to come on top, playing this way, it could be like a cascade effect. It could. All of a sudden, you could drop from 4th where we were, and then you find yourself 14th, and then you go from being 2 points off the top to 2 points off the bottom.
Yeah.
And you start worrying again, you know, and that's the thing. That can happen in a matter of 3, 4, 5 games. It can completely change.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally agree.
But anyway, Alfie, thank you very much for the call,
Thanks,
mate.
Alfie. Cheers.
Thanks for having me on, mate.
No worries, mate. I'll speak to you soon.
Take care, lads. Bye-bye.
See you later, Alfie. Bye.
Mikey, I'm going to give you a call back. I'm going to give you one more go. Hang on. See if you sorted your phone out.
Oh, I've missed a load of comments. Fucking hell.
Oh, hang on a minute. No,
Gary,
I'm not. I'll phone him back in a minute. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Hello, is that Gary from Womford?
Nick, how are you?
I'm very well, mate. Yourself?
Yes. How's things, mate?
Gary?
Oh, yeah, sorry, Gary.
Can you hear me?
I'm half asleep, Gary. Yeah, I'm fine. How are you doing, mate? How are you, Gary? Sorry. I'm genuinely struggling now. My fucking...
I'm expecting a reality check from Gary. Come on, Gary, give me a reality check.
What's that, Nick?
I said I'm expecting another reality check from Gary.
No. I've been listening to what you were saying tonight. I want to talk about Aguerd, actually. Just before I do, with comments about the game, I agree to a large extent what you're saying, but I watched the game yesterday. I mean, obviously, they did create a lot of chances. They are the best team in the world at the moment. We've got to bear that in mind. You can't open up against them.
Yeah.
But, no, I know. But what I would say is the second half, we had little passages of play. We played some lovely passing movements. And with Man City, it's about moments, you know, and most teams, I mean, you watch them in the Champions League last year, they were destroying some of the best teams in Europe.
Yeah, they were.
I think they beat Real Madrid 4-1. They took them apart.
They are the best team in the world. I believe that. I think they're the best team in the world. But bear in mind, when they're at full strength, they're the best team in the world. They didn't have. There's no Gundogan now. They didn't have Grealish. They didn't have De Bruyne. They were an under-strength Man City.
Depleted team. It was a
depleted Man City. I know they're still full of players, but if there's ever a good time to play them, that was it.
Yeah. What I was going to say is we went in at half time. Of course, the worst thing, whatever Moyes planned or whatever he said at half time went out the window with them feeding that goal after half time. But the second goal annoyed me more because we was back in it at 1-1 and we had that little spell. We had a go at them, didn't we? We had Antonio and the Zuma. And of course, if they chances go in, who knows? They didn't.
Absolutely.
You know?
Look, and you are right. It can be. You know, if City miss all of their chances, which they did, and we convert our few chances, then you can go and win the game. That's how football works. But what I'm saying is, and I put a post on Twitter as well. And the thing is, when you talk about conceding chances, right? I did have a look at it. For instance, there are different ways of playing. You know, like if they'd have been clinical against Fulham, do you know how many chances they created against Fulham when they beat them 5-0? They created 7, and 5 of them was on target. 5 of them went in. Right. So that's the difference. When they played against Burnley, they only created 17 chances with 8 on target. When they played against Newcastle, it was low. So to concede 29 chances with 15 of them being on goal, that isn't us doing well.
I'll tell you what didn't help yesterday. It was a shame we couldn't play up the day, the weather yesterday. I said to my mate, playing in that temperatures yesterday,
it was
when
warm.
You're chasing the game.
I was melting in the stands.
I know, and I think today would have been a much better, you know, because obviously it's much easier to pass the ball and chase it. But what I want to talk about, the Liverpool game coming up next week. Now, I think this season, we're not going to be anywhere near a I mean, the players we've got now, when Alvarez went off yesterday, that was a turning point for me.
Yeah.
And, you know, you look at the midfield now, you can see what it's got to be. You ain't got to be a rocket scientist. It's got to be Alvarez, Paqueta, Ward-Prowse.
Yeah.
And then you've got to play Antonio and somehow fit Kudus into the side. Now, obviously, it's his left side is the problem again. So what he could do is maybe play Kudus up front with Antonio and Bowen against Liverpool, but alternate a little bit, because Antonio can pull off to the left, he can pull off to the right, you know, and you can maybe alternate it a bit, so you're not so static. Because I think Liverpool, to be honest here.
But we've been calling for that for ages, Gary. That dynamism does work. I'll tell you what, I'll always go back to a game that I watched with Man United versus Roma when they had Ronaldo, Rooney, and Ryan Giggs, and they played a front three. It's probably one of the most exciting games I've ever played. And those 3 players were switching positions the whole dynamically. They were swarming all over the place. Roma did not know what the fuck was going on. They didn't have a clue what was going on.
We could do that.
And
we could do it. Because Liverpool, I'll tell you what, Nick, Liverpool, I mean, from what I heard yesterday, Wolves ripped them apart in the first half. They absolutely ripped them apart, and they just didn't take their chances. And I think defensively, Liverpool are not all that. I really don't.
No, I agree. That's what I was saying. That's their weakness. Their weakness is defence.
It is, and obviously our midfield. I mean, the three in midfield, Paqueta, Ward-Prowse, and Alvarez are class. We're going to be top 8 minimum this year. I'll tell you that now. I mean, I don't think anything lower than that. Maybe higher. I think we've got a really. I think you're in dreamland. No, I don't. I don't, because I could give you a really. I won't go into it now. It will take too long. But the thing is, what we need to do in January, the biggest thing we didn't do in the transfer window, as good as it was, didn't get another striker in. And
what do we do if Alvarez gets injured?
Yeah, well, it's true. Yeah. I mean, Paqueta can play deeper, but he's not a holding midfield player, really, is he? No. You don't want to waste him there.
No.
But the trouble is, what annoys me is Mbama's just not getting a chance, and he's much more. I know he's a young lad still, and some might argue he's not ready. Well, if he's not ready, that means you're down to 2 strikers. And Ings is a waste of time, Nick. It's a waste of time.
Yeah, I know, but this is what I'm saying to you. So why, when we're hamstringing our team through loyalty to players like Souček, and so this isn't going to change, Gary. So we're still going to be introducing these problems into our team.
I know.
And Gary, you hit on why that is the other day with Soufal. Because Moyes doesn't like players being outspoken. Soufal got dropped. He came out in the Czech press and complained about being dropped. He's never been dropped since, has he?
No.
Gary.
No.
You said that earlier on. You said he's never been dropped since.
No, he hasn't.
You know, so I just think it's he who shouts loudest in that changing room. To be quite honest, I think that's who gets played. But this is the thing. How I don't understand how. Because I know we've started well and we've got points on the board, but we will all you've got to accept we scraped a point against Bournemouth. In the end, we scraped past Luton. It was fine margins against Brighton and Chelsea, where Areola got man of the match, and we just got fucked against Man City. We're conceding more chances than we ever have before. What in God's name makes you think that we're going to get 8th spot?
I just see the quality of the side. I mean, even spells in that second half yesterday when we actually went and had a go at teams. I mean, look, the thing is, you can say about the saves Areola's made, but that's what he's there for. You know, he's part of the defence.
He's just set a Premier League record.
Yeah, I know, but Nick, what I'm trying to say to you is, with the Brighton game, we had. I mean, you said Brighton had chances, but we had better clear-cut chances than they did. We could have had another 2 or 3 against Brighton.
Yes. We could have. But what I'm trying to say is, we haven't been convincing and blown anyone away this year yet. We actually haven't.
But how many Premier League sides do that, though? I mean, you think about it. You see Arsenal today, they just scraped to 1-0 at Everton, and they were the side that finished second last year, you know.
But that's different. They're playing against an Everton team who are sitting deep like we do, and their job is to try and break them down. So it's hard to break teams down. It is. That's different. They was on the ball for the majority of the fucking game. So the same as, you know, to a degree, Man City, when they played Sheffield United, it can be hard to break teams down that sit the way that we do.
They were 1-0 down.
But what I'm saying, but Gary, what I'm saying is we are the defensive team in this
You
conversation.
got to say we've got a high quality. Gary, we've got a very, very high quality first team, right? And also some players who can't even get into the team, right? And I think, frankly, it's insulting. It's insulting to our intelligence for Moyes to think that we have to play this way, because we really don't. We do not have to play this way.
Yeah.
No. Well, I'm not disagreeing about that. I'm saying yesterday's game, you can't just go, gang ho against City. You've got to take your chances when they come and try to defend best you can. You know, they are the best team in the world. But listen, what was the main part of the call tonight was, which I haven't discussed yet, is Aguirre. We had this conversation a couple of weeks ago. I just don't get the guy. I watched him in the World Cup. He looked, for all the attributes, he can pass the ball, he's got pace, he's a great tackler, but in the air, he is just a liability. He is,
he can't judge the flight of a ball.
That second goal was down to win yesterday. That cost us the game, basically. You know, because at 1-1, we was in that game.
Yeah, it did.
Despite their dominance, we was in the game. And the thing was, you see a Bonner. If that was a Bonner or Zuma, they clear that.
Yeah.
Every
and I worry about Gerd. I don't know what it is. He's got a flaw in his game. And do you know what surprises me? Is that
concentration.
It's sort of because Moyes is a defender himself, and he obviously likes the defensive side of the game. But how many goals has he cost us now, Nick?
Yeah, no. But again, this comes down to the fact that I think. Look, I've said it already. We bought Aguero in because of his recovery pace. He's a different type of defender. He's a ball-playing defender. I'm telling you now, you put Aguero in the Man City team or the Liverpool team, he'd look world class because of his recovery pace. We saw what he did against Salah, where he can come back and he can make those fucking challenges. He can pass the ball, but he is no good sitting with his back to the wall against a defender, waiting and waiting. He's not a blocker. We need a Dawson. We need an Ogbonna. It isn't because he's a bad player. It's because he is now he's now not what we need. That's basically
so really,
it.
Then we've got to get. Apparently Liverpool have been interested in him, and if you get a good bid for him, then we've got to sell him and get a defender in that suits our style.
Or how about we've got a defender that Klopp wants because he wants to play in a higher line and a more progressive team, or you keep hold of him and wait for the manager that comes in the summer.
Yeah,
bit of Alonso, and then you've already got your centre back there who can do that. Because that's why he was bought.
But in the meantime, if Moyes is here for the season, how many more goals is he going to cost us? I mean,
Well, don't play him. We've got other options. You got Ogbonna.
Yeah.
You got Mavropanos.
Or you've got the Greek boy. He might be an option. But when you're playing these top teams, you're frustrating. You're in the game, and suddenly and it was a bad error yesterday. I mean, Tony Gale was commentating on the stream I was watching. And he said, it was a bad mistake. He's got to clear that, Nick.
Of course he has. Hackney Marshy's defending, honestly. It was shocking. I heard it was bad. I didn't think it was that bad.
He would have been better off letting that ball go and just tracking the player.
So, next Sunday, Liverpool, do you send the Bonner in and you leave him out? What would you do?
He won't. He'll play. He'll be the same team, the same exactly. No difference.
I'm saying, what would you do? What would you do?
No, I've already said that. I would have either Mavropanos, probably Kera, because I don't know where Mavropanos is yet, so I wouldn't take any chances. I like Kera. I would play him at right back and I would leave him there until he grows into that position because he is a better technical player than Soufal. Far better player, more pace, better, snappier in the tackle. He's a better player. So I would make that his position and I would put Ogbonna in the middle and I would get Souček out of that midfield.
Yeah,
I'd get him out of that midfield because they ain't going to be launching balls over the top, so he ain't going to be blocking nothing now. And I would have Paqueta, Alvarez and James Ward-Prowse in the middle. And I would probably go Bowen, Antonio, and Kudus, and have a front three. Yeah. Have a front three where we can fucking cause them some issues. That's what I would do.
Yeah, they are because they're not great at the back. They really ain't.
No.
They're not. They really ain't. I mean, going forward, they've got some quality up front. No doubt about that.
Yeah.
If they get a chance, they'll take it. But I think we've got to obviously not go gung ho, but obviously we've got to have a spells in the game when we do go at them.
Yeah.
I still think it's going to be a good season. I really, I quite like what I've seen so far. Some of the football's been good in spells. Like yesterday, the second half, we had little spells. We come right back in the game. It's all about moments, though, Nick, isn't it, really? You've just got to take your chances when they come.
Yeah, but yes, I know. And we had moments. We had luck. We had so much luck in that game because they were missing chances for fun. But we didn't take our chances. The fact of the matter is, they could have, like I said, without Areola's chances, Gary, they hit the bar. They had 2 chances cleared off the line, and Haaland missed 2 open goals. They could have scored 6 without Areola touching the fucking ball. We were.
Well, maybe we've got to take this game. Maybe we've got to take this game as a one-off and isolate it from the rest of the season.
But let's see. Next, because we've got Liverpool coming up. So let's see. And that's the thing. I haven't thrown my toys out the pram. I actually haven't. I'm just literally critiquing what I saw. And I'm being honest with it, but I ain't going to sit there and go, oh, it's Man City. You got to expect to get, but you still got to analyse the fucking game and the way that we've approached it. We were lucky that weren't a cricket score, Gary.
Yeah. Do you know one last thing before I go? One last thing.
One more thing.
Yeah. In terms of the strikers, obviously got Antonio. I thought he bought him off too early yesterday. Actually, I agree with you about that one. Well, totally agree with you. Because he occupied their defenders,
Yeah. It's no surprise. No surprise they pulled us after he went off.
As soon as things come on, I think he just does. I mean, I'm not saying he's a bad player in the right system. Again, same sort of thing as Aguero, but in our system, he just offers absolutely nothing. And I'd rather see my bum given a chance, or even play.
But this goes back to what I'm saying. Everything you're saying is right. You're looking at the quality of the players that we've got in the squad, but you're not looking at the fact the manager is going to do what he does and what he's doing in every single game. So what makes you think that with those constraints of David Moyes not using a more suitable striker, but bringing Danny Ings on in that scenario, what makes you think that we're going to get 8th place? We should be looking at 8th place with the quality that we've got. I completely agree.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But I don't think that we are going to be looking at that, mate. I don't. I really don't. I don't see it.
No. Well, I think we've got to get 10, 15 games, and then maybe get a real proper view.
I'm giving it 10 games before I try and form a real view on it. And I think then, you know, after the next 5 games, I think we'll have a little bit more of an understanding of where we are in the league at that point. I think that's what we'll see.
I do want us to have next Sunday Liverpool. It really pisses me off, Liverpool. There's so many games in the last few seasons where we lost 1-0 up there, and we could have missed a penalty last year, and even at home last year we should have had a penalty.
Yeah,
we just don't get the rub of the green. I just want to have a go at them. You know, I'm not saying for 90 minutes you're not going to do that at Anfield. But do you know what? And I promise you, I promise you now. If we go to Anfield and we have a go, and it is a game of fine margins, and we miss our chances, but we're creating loads, and it's down one end, it's down the other, we're really going at them, and we lose 3-0. I'm telling you now, I won't criticise them because it is Liverpool, and we've had a go, and then you can say if we'd have converted our chances, we really went at them. You know, that's fine. You know, we went at them, the better team won. But I just think that. That's what I struggle to analyse it when all we've done is we've just sat everyone behind the fucking ball. That frustrates me. It does. I know you don't like this style of play.
I hate it. I detest it. And it isn't people. And the thing is, you know something. And I was saying it the other day. It isn't a direct hatred of David Moyes. It's what he stands for in football. It's the style of play. It's the style of play. That's it.
Can I interrupt? Right? Can I interrupt? It's gone 2 hours. I'm falling asleep. Sorry, Gary. Ain't you make me fall asleep? I'm knackered. Now, I told you I'm cutting it at 2 hours tonight. I know you probably want to call Hammers Mikey back, right, Nick?
No, it's fine. We'll get Mikey on another time. Oh no, he says try phone again.
Yeah. All right. No, cool.
Anyway.
No, thanks, Gary. Thanks for your call.
Cheers, Gary.
So I just want to thank you, Gary. I just want, before you get Mikey on, because I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go to bed. But let me just say one thing, right? Thanks for everybody who's watched tonight. It's been quite good numbers after a defeat, to be honest. Yeah. Now it's our birthday soon. We're nearly 2. Right?
Almost 2 years old.
We I think really our birthday is one of 2 times. It's either our first live stream, because we did a couple of crappy pre-records right at the start, but our first live stream was the 25th of September 2021, right? And the first time we had Virgil and Nigel was October the 8th, 2021. So we need to choose between those dates. What date do you want as the birthday?
Yeah.
October the 8th or September the 25th. Let us know.
Let us know. We'll sort that out. Yeah, anyway, put that on a community post anyway.
Yeah. So I will do when I wake up tomorrow. But anyway, look, thanks all. I've got to go. Sorry, I've usually last long on this.
Well, go ahead and buzz off. I'm going to give Mikey a call back. See if he's still awake. Right.
Night all.
Is he going to pick up?
Welcome to Gift Gas voicemail. The person you're calling.
I've tried, Marky. I couldn't get through. I've tried. Right. Okay. What I'm going to do then, in that case, is I am going to close the show. Thank you, everyone in the chat. Please don't forget to drop a like on the video before you go. I'll be back tomorrow. I will drop a ramble in tomorrow. That's it from me. I'm going to go and get my head down as well. But yeah, no, it's been a very good show. And yeah, I'll see you all tomorrow. All right then. I'm not going to play us out with massive because not after that performance. That wasn't a massive performance, I don't think. But anyway, look, I shall see you all later. Thanks for everything tonight, everyone. Great comments in the chat. Speak to you soon. Come on, you irons.